Good evening and welcome to High Top Sports Network's presentation of District 6 football playoffs featuring the Portage Mustangs and the visiting West Shamokin Wolves. My name is Joe Rhodes. Joining me this evening is Jake DeLuca and Josh Schreckengast. Gentlemen, the playoffs are here. The weather is chilly and the stakes are high here in Portage, PA. The Wolves, the visitors on the scoreboard, come in with a record of 6-4 overall. As for Portage, they come into the contest after a bye in the first round with a record of 6-3. As mentioned there a moment ago, the Wolves are the number 5 seed, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that. Yes, they are indeed the 5 seed, and Portage is 4. So obviously close in the rankings, and I think a lot of folks out here are expecting a close one on the scoreboard.
Yeah, two teams coming into this one really close in the standings, as you said. 2 6-win teams, two teams that won 5 games in their conference, respectively. But if you take a look at what these two teams do best, we're also used to this West Shamokin team pounding the rock and really having success in the run game. But the past couple years, that hasn't been the case with quarterback Bo Swartz behind center. He's had one of the best years in the state passing the football. Main connection being younger brother Lou Swartz. He's hooked up with him a number of times this season. 7 touchdowns for Lou Swartz, but their lead receiver, Owen Stover, has a team-high 884 yards through the receiving game and 9 touchdowns. So look for those two to be the main targets for Bo Swartz today. And, I mentioned the other side, Portage, kind of what we're used to seeing out of West Shamokin, a real power run team, rushed for nearly 2,000 yards this season. And really it was by a committee of 3 guys in Heidler, Wolford, and also Clark. So, 2 teams that have success on offense, but in 2 different ways.
Jake, we got the band back together. Jake and Joe and Josh here. All of us back together again for the first time this fall season for sure. And you were talking about Lou Swartz a bit, the sophomore. He has 40 receptions for 651 yards and 7 touchdowns, Jake. So, older brother looking for a younger brother in that passing game, and we're going to see a lot of that tonight, I believe.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting matchup. Again, we're going to probably confuse you guys. My name is Joe. We have a Jake and we have a Josh. A lot of J's, and people mess us up even when they're looking at us. So if you're listening to our voices, that's probably going to throw you off a little bit as well. So just bear with us. We got a Joe, a Jake, and a Josh. We always talk that we maybe should start going by our middle names. We're going to have to figure that one out. But yeah, guys, everything you said there, I'm going to go back to what you said, Josh. Lou Swartz, someone I'm really looking forward to see tonight. We've had the unfortunate set of circumstances of not being able to cover a lot of District 6 football this season due to contractual issues with a separate streaming service. We've spent a lot of our time in the Whippeal and some other surrounding areas, but we did get a chance to see some highlights from Lou Swartz, and the fact that he's just a sophomore. And from what we saw on the tape, it was pretty remarkable. It was pretty impressive, and it's certainly he's certainly a player to be watched out for this evening, and I know he's my particular player to watch.
Yeah, really looking forward to see Lou Swartz run the ball here tonight. He is your definition of an angry runner. He's going to run you over, break tackles. The highlights that I saw of him this season, it takes about the 3rd or 4th guy to even slow him down. So, as a sophomore, I was joking with West Shamokin head coach John McCullough yesterday when I was talking to him on the phone a little bit, and I said, he's like a bulldozer. I don't think I've ever seen a sophomore that big and physical running the football. So really looking forward to seeing him in the backfield and also out at that tight end position.
And it should be noted, Jake, that these two teams, maybe not on the gridiron, but are familiar with each other. Of course, during the pandemic season of 2020-2021, these two respective school districts faced off in the District 6 championship in boys basketball. Both teams came into that game, I want to say, with 1 loss. I'm not sure about Portage. I know West Shamokin was perfect on the season going into that game, and Portage not only ended that streak, but also won the district and stole the lone state playoff berth. Typically, in a non-COVID year, you would have a couple participants come out of a district, particularly in this case, District 6. But again, due to the pandemic and COVID, they kind of shrunk that PIAA field, and the Wolves, despite having, I feel bad that I don't remember this now, either 23-1 or 22-1.
I think it was 22-0 going into that District 6 game.
Yeah, so they were undefeated, and there you go. That one loss pretty much just derailed the season. You know, if that were any other year, those Wolves would have gone to the state playoffs along with the Mustangs. So you got to wonder. There's a few basketball players for both teams out on the field here tonight. You got to wonder if the Wolves have that even in the back of their mind as they take on Portage on a different kind of playing field tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in small schools like these, you have a lot of multi-sport athletes. The carryover from football to basketball to baseball, etc., is big time. So I'm sure that a couple players for each of these teams were involved in that game a season ago for the District 6 championship. But before we go any further here, Josh, I think you got some people that you want to say thanks to.
Well, certainly we'd love to say thanks to our great sponsors who made this evening possible. Sprankles Neighborhood Market. Remember to hashtag Save on Meat. TGIF Solutions, also one of our scoreboard sponsors this evening. We would also like to thank Steffi's Country Catering in Adrian, as well as Phoenix Physical Therapy and Rehab, Rural Valley and Katanning, as well as AE Rican Welding, UFP Parker LLC, Shop and Save at Franklin Village, Avice in Rural Valley, and Carson Boyer Funeral Home Incorporated.
Josh, all of those names, we are so grateful and fortunate to have them on our network because the funny thing is people think that you're just going to take any advertiser on your network and just slap them up there and be willing to take a check from them, but we stand behind all of these sponsors, many of which have been with us not just this particular school year, but from our inception a season ago. And so we are very grateful to have them here with us during these District 6 playoffs, a time where we have to start paying to broadcast these games, and certainly their support means everything. So we always, as always, we suggest that whenever you are in the need of any of our sponsor services, you look to them first because they are the ones providing tonight's service and allowing you to tune in to this great District 6 single A playoff game at a very unique venue. We walked in here. It's almost gives you this old school feel, some stone around the bleachers, press box at both sides. And also want to mention very quickly how accommodating the Portage administration, athletic staff, athletic director, and principal have been to us here tonight. They have offered us food. They gave us this wonderful little booth to ourselves so we can kind of concentrate on bringing the action to you the best we can. And we are very grateful, again, for our sponsors and for the Portage administration for setting us up quite well here, guys.
Yeah, couldn't say it any better myself, Joe. I know I have a full belly now. I'm ready to get this one started here. Excited to be back covering West Shamokin football. It's been a while for all of us, really. And, really stoked to see both of these teams battle here tonight. West Shamokin has a chance to win their first playoff game here, as I believe we are going to have to pause here for the national anthem.
And thank you to what appears to be the Portage band for their lovely rendition of the national anthem. A little bit far away there, though. I was expecting maybe to be a little bit closer here to the center of the field so we could hear it a little bit better. Unfortunately, not the case. But again, thank you to the Portage band for that. And just a couple housekeeping items here before we get ready for the action here. For our friends here in Portage, you probably are not too familiar with us. We are High Top Sports Network, as mentioned. We provide this service free of charge, thanks to those sponsors we mentioned earlier on. So we welcome you aboard. We did cover you guys in the District 6 Championship, as mentioned earlier, for basketball. And we are really glad to be back here covering the Mustangs once again. Our West Shamokin friends, they know us quite well. Not as much this year. Unfortunately, a contractual issue with broadcasting Wolves sporting events, but now that the playoffs are here, we are glad to be a part of it and back covering the Wolves as they try, as Jake mentioned, to win their first playoff game in program history here tonight at Portage. A couple other notes that I want to make sure to make you folks aware of tonight. Of course, this is our lone broadcast, this District 6 quarterfinal matchup. Tomorrow, we have a PIAA volleyball doubleheader, 2 3A games, one of which is at Bald Eagle area. They are the host, but the two teams taking the court there will be the Freeport Yellow Jackets along with Twin Valley, the Twin Valley Raiders. The other game, that game is at 2 o'clock here in High Top Sports Network, so make sure you tune into that. Obviously, the state playoffs are awesome regardless of what sport it is, and we are really glad to have the opportunity to cover that one. That is again at 2 o'clock at Bald Eagle area, Freeport versus Twin Valley. And then the nightcap will be two section opponents, the Armstrong Riverhawks taking on the Hampton Talbots at 7 o'clock at Mars High School. 2 PIAA volleyball games in Class 3A here on High Top Sports Network tomorrow. As you just saw there, though, just blazoned in there, Kelly green pants and shirts, all green. The Portage Mustangs take the field. Just a moment ago, you saw the Wolves with their black pants, white tops, and silver helmets taking the field as well. So about to get underway. The clock says 5:43 left. And gentlemen, again, just a great night for football. A little bit of a chill to the air, but not too bad considering we're about halfway through November here in Western Pennsylvania. Pretty much ideal conditions for high school football.
Yeah, and real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the cheerleaders here for Portage. That sign might have been the largest sign I've seen any team run through in all of my years covering high school football. So a shout out to them. You know, they did a little pyramid to hold the sign up because that thing had to be 10 feet tall.
It was, yes, that was a great call there, Jake. I did notice that myself, and I'm thinking, you know, what work went into that for it just to be destroyed?
Oh, it's massive.
Like it was. Yeah, but yeah, great job there by the Mustangs cheerleaders as we tick under 5 minutes here. So with that, we're going to take a really short break here to thank a couple more of our sponsors, particularly tonight's scoreboard sponsors, Sprankle's Neighborhood Markets, hashtag Save on Meat, and TGIF Solutions, Insurance for Matters. Insurance for what matters, excuse me. So for Jake DeLuca, Josh Schreckengoss, and myself, Joe Rhodes, we'll be right back here on High Top Sports Network for this presentation of District 6 football between Portage and West Shamokin.
Protecting the things you love and how you do so is among the most important decisions you'll ever have to make. TGIF Solutions can provide you with the peace of mind by supplying answers to all of your insurance needs, whether it be home, auto, business, life, or farm coverage. Contact the team at the Shellhammer Atwood Agency today in West Katanning to be sure that you, your loved ones, and the things that matter most stay safe when it matters the most. TGIF Solutions, insurance for what matters.
Just finishing up a 100% outside renovation project at Katanning Store. Don't miss out. Come and see us. Check out our Pennsylvania skill game room. We have the newest machines, the newest games. We have 5 machines. We're about to add a 6th machine. $10,000 jackpots on all 6 machines. Don't miss out on a chance to win. We have the lowest possible prices and the best quality of anybody in the area. We'll take it up against anybody in the area. We put our stamp of approval, hashtag Save on Meat, on every single package, and we're here to serve you every single day. We also have chef-prepared, chef-prepared sushi, everyday fresh, and Sushi Wednesday, $5 sushi rolls, and you can win by liking and sharing our favorite page, Sushi Madness shirt. Don't forget to check out our millions of bakery deli products that we're making fresh every day. Appreciate all the support out there. We can't do what we do without you. Come and see us.
And welcome back to High Top Sports Network here at Portage High School. Not necessarily the high school, it's a field separate from it. One of those dying breeds as far as football stadiums and high schools go. Obviously, one of those rare fields not located at the school. We're about to have the captains head out on the field. Looks like for the Wolves, tonight's captains will be quarterback Bo Swartz, number 20. That is, of course, Owen Stover, a wide receiver defensive back. Number 57, Colton Dunmeyer. And number 61, that, of course, is Cody Baker. As for the Mustangs, they will be sending out number 57, that is Jace Irvin. And number 11, that, of course, is Caden Clark. Number 15, Gavin Gauss. And number 37, the one and only John Wolford, a running back, outside linebacker, senior, 5'10", 180. It's a great facility.
Yeah, they really rolled out the red carpet here for us. We got our own little booth.
I always enjoy the grass. You know, we live in a day and age where everybody's moving to turf. The Wolves, a team that has turf as on their home field. Back in it's Boyer Field, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, in Rural Valley. So kind of a throwback. You get this old stone look here and the grass field, some high, tall light fixtures, a big old scoreboard, and it's just a really neat, just a neat facility. And we're really, really glad to be here tonight, joining you for this District 6 playoff game. Just to kind of give you some more information on that, and Jake, you can let the folks know here and pay attention to what's going to happen and who's going to get the ball first. But the winner of this will move on to play either Juniata Valley or Conemaugh Valley. Keep in mind, Juniata Valley is the #1 overall seed in Class A in District 6. Certainly the heavy favorite. They will be playing tonight as well at Juniata Valley. Conemaugh Valley going into that contest as the number 8 seed. Again, West Shamokin the 5 seed and Portage the 4. So whoever wins this one will likely move on to play Juniata Valley unless Conemaugh Valley can play upset.
They're going to be in some sort of valley. We can guarantee that.
Yeah,
A lot of valleys in western Pennsylvania. Part of our terrain.
Hills and dales.
You got to wonder, are there a lot of valley schools in Ohio? A very flat state? You got to wonder.
Certainly not in Nebraska either.
Or Indiana.
Yeah, West Shamokin won the coin toss, elected to receive the ball first here. So they want to get out there on offense and maybe throw off this away crowd.
Yeah, that's an interesting call there. You see so much in football today that the teams like to defer till the second half, and that is not the case. Instead, Wolves head coach John McCullough will put the return team out there back deep for the Wolves. Is number 20. That is, of course, that is Owen Stover. Mentioned him earlier. And next to him on this near side of the field, back deep with him, is number 6, Christian Sharp, the senior. And for Portage, the kicker, standing just so I can't see the number.
The one and only Dylan Tubbs, Joe.
Ah, yes, thank you. We were going over, we always love names. We'll always point out when somebody's got a great name. And Dylan Tubbs, the senior kicker.
Definitely up there.
Oh, yeah. So Tubbs will kick it deep, and we actually caught him in warm-ups. He seemed to have a good boot, nice leg. So wonder how that will factor into this one, especially in the special teams game, and see if a field goal could be a big game changer in this one. This one's going to be returned.
Oh, Sharp drops it.
Yep, Sharp drops it. He's going to cut up the sideline, break one tackle, up past the 20-yard line, and about out at the 22-yard line, and that is where Bo Swartz and the Wolves offense will begin this drive. Nice little return there. As mentioned, kind of a fumbled snap, but making up for that with a nice return and breaking a couple tackles was number 17. Or excuse me, that was number 6, as you said, Christian Sharp. Swartz will start. Running back flank to his right. 2 receivers at the top of the screen, 2 at the bottom. Very spread out formation. Receives the snap. Throws out in the flat. Meeting the tackler and dragging him out about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage was number 2, Lou Swartz. And you're going to hear those names a lot tonight. Lou Swartz and Bo Swartz, the brother connection. Bo, as Jake mentioned in the pregame, having just another terrific standout season. I'm not sure if our numbers are correct, but we found that he was number 6 in the state in passing. That's not official, but we know that that's probably darn close because of the year he had last year as a junior. Now 3 receivers to the bottom. Man in motion is going to meet Swartz. Flank to his right. Going to get the handoff. That is number 2. Lou Swartz. Get up past the line of scrimmage. Maybe get a gain of 1 or 2, which will set up a 3rd down and about 5.
Yeah, and you got to see it there on back-to-back plays. You know, we talked about what kind of bruiser Lou Swartz is when he has the ball in his hands. The first play, a little screen pass that he caught around the line of scrimmage. He was met immediately, but it took 2 or 3 guys to bring him down again. You see him met immediately, but able to push that pile forward for another positive gain and set up a 3rd and short.
About a minute and a half into this one, Wolves face their first 3rd down of the game. 3 receivers. That side, Swartz looks there, and then he's going to think about taking off. He's going to pull back. He's going to continue to scramble, try to buy some time. Going to look to the sideline, throws up just a heave towards the sideline.
Oh!
Very close, but out of bounds. The referee will say the attempt was to lose Swartz. Give credit to Bo Swartz for buying as much time as he did, and that nearly stayed in bounds, and Lou gave it all he had to try to convert that 3rd down, but instead it will be a 4th and 5, and the punting unit will come on for the Wolves.
Looked like Big Ben out there.
It did. Young Big Ben. Let's not
young Ben.
Not 2021 Ben. You know my feelings on that. There's a penalty, it looks like, too. It's against West Shamokin. It's a block in the back. That's declined, and that will bring up 4th down.
Yeah, not surprised there was a penalty of that nature called whenever you have one of those long plays where the quarterback's scrambling for an excess amount of time. It's hard to keep them protected without throwing a little block in the back or a hold. So, you know, that play was extended for a while. Not surprised to see a flag after all that.
And that's a terrific point, Jake. The longer that play goes on, the more prone that offense and its line and blockers are to committing a penalty, and that's what you saw there. Didn't see who it was against. We know it was the Wolves, but not. I didn't know what particular player it was, but Bo Swartz with a ton of time back there, and the lead judge just getting his flag back now. And once you know it, Bo Swartz will also punt for the Wolves. Back deep for Portage is number 15. That is, of course, Gavin Gauss, the senior wide receiver, 5'10", 155. Next to him is number 16, I believe, Jake.
It looks like, I think it might be Caden Clar out there beside him.
I believe you're correct. Yeah, it's hard to see the numbers when they're standing exactly sideways to us. Snap back. Swartz gets it in. Plenty of time to punt this one off. Heading to that far sideline. Brought in a block. Looked like a block in the back.
Flag thrown, but it looks like West Shamokin came up with the ball here, Joe.
I don't believe that's a flag. I think he threw the – oh, yeah, he did throw the flag. I saw him throw that marker down originally. But what a nice tackle there for the Wolves nonetheless. Maybe tack on a couple extra yards for the Wolves on this punt attempt by Bo Swartz after this penalty is acknowledged, Jake.
Well, the return man there, he did the same thing that Sharp did. He kind of bobbled the ball there, and that gave West Shamokin enough time to run up, dive on top of that loose ball, and now they take over on offense, lined up at the 35-yard line in Portage territory.
Yeah, absolutely, and West Shamokin back in business on offense. 3 and out there, a punt, but getting the recovery. And here's a nice ball down the field, just a bit underthrown. The intended target, I believe, was number 6, Jake, if I'm not mistaken. Again, hard to spot these numbers from far away. Is that Ezra Osterling, I do believe?
Yeah, I think that was Ezra, but really great coverage by Andrew Miko. He's also their quarterback, but stride for stride with Osterling on that play. And good coverage not to draw a pass interference, but to just break that play up and make that ball that much harder to catch.
So a 2nd and 10 Swartz in the shotgun once again, receives it, looks to his right, goes back to his left. He's going to try to tuck this one and run, but now he's going to throw again. He finds Lou Swartz down the sideline, but again, just a bit underthrown. Bo Swartz hoping the flag would come in, but just perfect coverage there for Portage, able to get back on the wide open Lou Swartz quickly. And yet again, another third down for the Wolves at the Mustangs 34-yard line.
Yeah, another backyard football type of play there. You know, protection breaks down. Bo Swartz able to kind of break, contain, and reverse fields a couple of times before getting it off to Lou Swartz.
Oh, just traveling a lot on the field, not really going past the line of scrimmage, but from sideline to sideline, really covering a lot of ground. Here's plenty of time again. He's got a world of time. Tries to redirect the receivers. He's going to let this one fly across, but off the hands of number 6. Once again, that's Christian Sharp. I said that was Ezra Osterling. I apologize. That is Sharp, the intended receiver, who takes a lick just as the ball gets to him. Maybe should have had it. Good placement by Swartz, but the Wolves are faced with a fourth and 10. Again, at the Mustangs' 34-yard line. Looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field since the field has been flipped thanks to the fumble recovery on that punt the Wolves had a moment ago.
Yeah, Portage doing a great job in coverage. They're only really bringing 4 at a time here and dropping everybody else back, and you can see the blanketed coverage on the receivers.
Rolling out to his right is Swartz. He's going to let this one go. A lot of air under this one. It's a 50-50 ball. And tipped and caught by number 20. Wasn't the intended receiver, but he'll come up with it anyways. That is Owen Stover to give the Wolves a 6-0 lead at the 9:43 mark in the first quarter.
Yeah, wow. Looking for Lou on that play. Lou Swartz. Bo Swartz to Lou Swartz looking for it, but it ends up being Owen Stover. That's Bo Swartz's favorite target, and his favorite target on that play, even if it wasn't on purpose. He had 9 touchdowns in the regular season. Tack on another one there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Bo Swartz intended to put so much air under that ball. A pretty risky throw with that in mind, but a touchdown nonetheless for the Wolves, and they take the early 6-0 lead. Extra point upcoming. It is up, and it is good. The extra point there, I believe, by number 20. Correct, Jake? I believe that's who it was, or
no? I believe that was
7?
Ezra Osterling.
Oh, I apologize.
Yep.
That makes a ton of sense. One of those kind of multifaceted soccer players / football players, and Osterling bangs that through to give the visiting Wolves a 7-0 lead. Not pretty on those first 2 drives. That came down to a 4th and 10, and that heave happened. That after a 4th and 5 that the Wolves were lucky enough to recover that punt on. But not about how you do it. It's just about getting it done. And Josh, I think you have something to share.
Oh, I always have something to share. But thanks to our sponsors, our great sponsors, our scoreboard sponsors this evening, TGIF Solutions, Insurance for What Matters, Sprankle's Neighborhood Market. Make sure you check out their Facebook page, #SaveOnMeat. We'd also like to thank Steffi's Country Catering. With over 40 years of experience, Steffi's Country Catering provides sumptuous home-cooked food served by a friendly, professional staff to make your next event worry-free. Ask about their grazing tables and 3-tier cheese ball cakes. Be sure to order some homemade cheese balls or try their extra fresh meat and cheese or pickle and olive plates. Sugar Rush Cupcakes by Terra are available. Make sure to mention High Top Sports Network, to receive a special 10% discount when you book your next event.
The holidays are coming, so remember those folks at Terry Steffi and the fine folks at Steffi's Country Catering know how to do it and do it right. And the holidays are coming, and let them take care of it for you. The Wolves will kick off for the first time here tonight after receiving the opening kickoff. This one brought in by number 11. He's got a lot of room here in the far sideline. He's got one man to beat. That's Lou Swartz. Maybe the sideline, but Swartz able to track him down, but not until he gets down to the West Shamokin 20-yard line. Great starting field position for the Mustangs, thanks to Lou Swartz preventing that touchdown, which would have been by number 11. That is Caden Clark, the 6'1 senior for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Lou Swartz kicked that ball off, and whenever you're a return man, your goal is to have to just beat the kicker there, but not a lot of kickers are also leading the team in tackles like Lou Swartz is here for West Shamokin.
Andrew Miko and the Portage offense on the field for the first time at the 9:31 mark here in the first quarter. Man in motion, that's number 33. Instead, it'll be 37 who gets the handoff, the tailback. That, of course, John Wolford out for a gain of about 1. That'll set up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, first time we get to see this West Shamokin defense in action here. Had the first 2 offensive possessions, went 3 and out, and then recovered that fumble in Portage territory.
And all 3 of us have covered a great deal of West Shamokin football over the years, and they've always prided themselves on 2 things: tough D and wing T.
Wing T and tough D.
Yep, I'm going to assume that the defensive side of that equation is going to be as paramount as ever here for the Wolves. But from that first drive, really, I don't guess you could call it the first 2 drives for the Wolves, really airing it out. So not seeing that traditioned Katanning High School wing T that John McCullough learned during his time as a Wildcat.
Yeah, a student of the great Harry Beckwith. Wing T and tough D. That's all we learned.
It's just tough D and sling it deep. A penalty there.
It looked like encroachment on West Shamokin there.
Yeah, good call. So Miko will come to the sideline and get the call from his coach as the ball is now spotted at the 15-yard line of West Shamokin. 8:35 left in quarter number 1. This is the first drive for the Mustangs thus far. They would have had an offensive opportunity sooner if not for the turnover on the botched punt return. But Miko and company in a good situation right now. And a flag comes in. It's going to be a delay of game penalty. Miko and the offense not paying attention to that big old clock right in his view there past the end zone. So that will push the Portage offense back 5 yards.
So they move up 5 with the encroachment on West Shamokin and move right back 5 on the delay of game.
So all they really did was waste a couple minutes of our lives to be in the same exact place. So the ball now spotted right around the 19-yard line. Miko in the gun. Behind him is number 37, John Wolford. One receiver far out to the right. Man in motion once again. Fakes the handoff there. Wide open down the middle, and in for the score was number 11, Caden Clark. The senior scores on the nice slant route and the pass from quarterback Andrew Miko to make this a 7-6 ball game.
Yeah, Caden Clark getting paid off after returning that kickoff about 60 yards to put them into scoring position. You know, he thought he had a touchdown there, but his quarterback, Andrew Miko, able to find him there on that easy slant, wide open in the middle of the field.
And maybe a lapse in coverage there for the Wolves. No one within probably 7 yards of Clark on that reception. The extra point high and up and good. We are now tied up at 7 apiece in this District 6 Class A quarterfinal between the visiting West Shamokin Wolves and the Portage Mustangs. Again, I want to thank a couple more sponsors, if we may. Phoenix Physical Therapy in Katanning and Rural Valley. Life is all about motion, so orthopedic injuries are just a part of life. Phoenix Physical Therapy in Rural Valley and Katanning will help you recover, recharge, and rise to new heights after an injury by creating a program focused on you. Your life should be pain-free and filled with activities that you love. And with the help from Phoenix Physical Therapy, you can get there. Schedule 24/7 online at phoenixphysicaltherapy.com or call the fine folks there today to make an appointment.
Hey, Joe, I'd also like to thank Shop and Save at Franklin Village. Was just up there and got a chance to speak with Jim O'Connell, the owner, and just really, really super guy, great sponsor for us here on High Top Sports Network. Right now, they've got semi-boneless standing beef rib roast, $10.99 a pound, 85% lean ground round, $4.99 a pound.
Great word.
Boneless center cut pork loin roast or value chops, $2.99 a pound. Boneless whole beef tenderloin filet mignon, $14.99 a pound. That's a great price right there, Joe.
Love that filet mignon.
So make sure you stop into Franklin Village, shop and save. Remember, fuel perks every day.
The one and only, the uncomparable Dylan Tubbs will send this one a flying, kind of a line drive the last time up. This one's going to go towards the sideline and scoot out of bounds. Flag will come in, and now the Wolves will be presented with some decent field position for what will be their third offensive possession of the game.
Yeah, really close to getting that to be a touchback in the end zone there, but it just skirts out in front of that pylon here on the near sideline.
Also want to mention to you, as you see on our homepage, hopefully you visit us at hightopsportsnetwork.com. We have a green donate button, not intentional, despite the very green uniforms of these Mustangs tonight, but feel free to hit that. Every little bit helps, and we plan on covering as much football as we can and volleyball here as the fall sports season winds down. So with your help, we can do so. So feel free to hit that button. Here's a quarterback draw by Bo Swartz right up
He's
the middle.
got room.
He beats one tackler, but a shoestring tackle there at the 35-yard line of the Mustangs. I believe, Jake, that was number...
I think it was Tanner Trussick.
Yes, I do believe it was Tanner Trussick, and very shifty there was Bo Swartz for the nice long run to put the ball in Mustang territory here with 7:51 left in quarter number one.
Yeah, Joe, and that's just a tendency breaker. West Shamokin's passed on pretty much every play except for one on that opening drive. Just Bo Swartz up the middle.
Swartz will throw again, looking. Thought he had a guy open on the slant. Going to buy more time. Great job by this offensive line for the Wolves, and finally getting open, and a tiptoe, keep it just tiptoeing on the sidelines was Lou Swartz. What a pretty play, brother to brother on that one. And again, the amount of time that Bo Swartz has right now has everything to do with some of these throws he's been able to sneak in there. Just been the case here so far in this first quarter. That offensive line for the Wolves doing an excellent job.
Yeah, Swartz kind of audibling mid-play there, pointing things out on the defense. I've seen it all game long. It's really impressive to watch a quarterback this locked in.
Trips to the bottom. They're going to throw a screen down there. Nice block by number 6. Getting outside there is number 20. That, of course, is Owen Stover. He's able to get down to about the 15, we'll say the 16-yard line. That's going to be roughly 3-4 yards short. Let's say 3 yards short of a first down. They're going to say 2. So a nice little play. Wolves quickly back to the line here, but a 2nd and 2 will be upcoming for West Shamokin. 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom in 1-on-1 coverage. That is number 8, the Camden Eddy. 2 backs next to Swartz, fakes the handoff, gonna buy some more time, roll out to his left, throw across his body deep, but well over the head of the intended target. That was number 6, Christian Sharp, called his name a couple times so far, but that one uncatchable, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, 3rd and short here. You know, it's 4-down territory. I didn't see on the stat sheet West Shamokin kicking too many field goals this season. So 3rd and short. Expect to see them maybe take another shot here towards the end zone.
So really pass heavy so far for the Wolves. Again, it's hard to believe. We watched this team for several years, and I can remember games where there was less than 6 throws or attempts in the air. There's a QB dive. I think it was a design run there by Swartz. He's going to get down to about the 14-yard line. I think that's still going to be short. They might bring the chains out.
It looks like 4th and inches here.
Yeah, it's going to be 4th and inches, so Wolves quickly back to the line. Going to try to convert here. Swartz in the gun, and it's going to be an encroachment offside. Looked like number 33 for the Mustangs jumped offside, and that's going to be an automatic first down for the Wolves.
Yeah, whenever Bo Swartz saw Heidler jump off sides there, he immediately started clapping before the flag was even thrown. Just great job on the hard count there to make him jump. And, you know, you got to think the Mustangs knew that he was going to try to make him jump, but he still got him anyway.
Veteran move right there by a veteran quarterback.
Senior back in the shotgun, running back to his left. He's going to be blocked for him as he rolls out to that side. Going to have to throw across his body again. He will. He's going to look for his brother Lou in the end zone for the touchdown. I do believe in this. The hands are raised by the referee, and that's another touchdown for the Wolves. What a pretty pass. Throwing across his body was Bo Swartz, finding Lou Swartz for 6.
Yeah, he said, hey, bro, I missed you on that first touchdown pass, but I'm going to get you on this drive. That's exactly what he did. Nice out route there to the corner of the end zone by Lou Swartz. And, you know, I've seen Bo Swartz now make a lot of great throws kind of at awkward positions. Maybe that's a little bit of baseball player in him coming out on the football field.
That's a great point. And that extra point blocked. Great penetration from that far side. It looked like number 8 might have been the man to get his hand on it, maybe 8 and 56. No, that's going to be number 8. That, of course, is Andrew Miko. Able to get his hands on that, and that is big. That could loom large later in this game as the score is now 13-7 after the blocked extra point. The referees are going to meet, but I'm not sure what could be changed based on what we saw there. But again, back to that touchdown, gentlemen. What a throw. I think one of the most difficult throws, if not the most difficult throw in football, kind of ranging to your left, having to throw across your body as a right-handed quarterback and get as much distance on that as Bo Swartz was able to, and buy time doing so to find his younger brother Lou for the touchdown.
Yeah, and a couple of both of those touchdown passes were kind of hold your breath moments. You know, a lot of air underneath that football. A lot can happen, but the wide receivers here, Stover and Swartz, able to come down with both of those respective touchdowns.
So a lot of kickoffs here so far. 5:55 left in the first quarter. And I'd like to thank one of our many, many wonderful sponsors, UFP Parker. They are the sponsor for tonight's extra point and kickoff. So thank you, UFP Parker. If you're looking for a solid career change with growth opportunity and a caring environment, check out UFP Parker online.
UFPI.com/careers. They'll set you up. They'll set you up from there.
So this will be Lou Swartz once again. Back to kick for West Shamokin. Looks like number 11 is the deep man. That's Caden Clark. And this is sort of a, I don't know if that was a design squib kick. It must have been. But coming up with it, nice hands play there was number 20, Mason Cargo, the middle linebacker slash running back. Junior able to come up with that big play and escape danger on that kickoff. And great field position once again for Portage.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do out here. Second time for the offense to take the field here for the Mustangs. If they can score again, we might have ourselves a old-fashioned shootout.
So closely seeded, these two teams. You'd expect a hard-fought, close battle. Don't know if we were expecting a shootout, but that might in fact be the case, as you mentioned there, Jake. And the ball carrier there getting the handoff from Miko was number 33. That is Oren Heidler, another great name. He gets out to about the, say, it's in West Shamokin territory at the 48. That'll bring up a 2nd and 7 as Miko trots back on the field looking to answer the West Shamokin score on the last drive. Not going to have any problems differentiating jerseys here tonight, fellas.
Absolutely not.
There's some bright green uniforms. I love it. It's my favorite color. And a nice job of keeping the legs moving, but the West Shamokin defense collapses on the ball carrier once again. This is number 37 this time. That is John Wolford. I'm going to say maybe a gain of 1, maybe barely back to the line of scrimmage. So looked like he kept those legs moving and might have been able to turn something into nothing into something. But instead, the Wolves defense collapses down on Wolford, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 5. They're going to say he got 2 on that carry.
Yeah, some physical inside runs here to start this drive for Portage. They were able to get their first touchdown through the air.
Tight formation. Miko's going to roll out, pressured, deep down the field. He's got a man open, and through the hands of number 15, Gavin Gauss. He's going to want that one back. A great throw by Miko, but Gauss dropping the pass that was put right over his shoulder, where the defensive back that quickly got up on him could not get. That will bring up a 4th and 5.
Yeah, really a perfect throw there by Miko. And like you said, Gauss is going to want that one back. It's not too often that you find yourself wide open with a touchdown catch. Just slip between your fingertips.
So back to punt for Portage. Oh, it's a fail. Looking like a fake. Barely gets that off was Miko camping under, and a fair catch at the 16-yard line there was number 20. That is Owen Stover, and that's where Bo Swartz and the Wolves will begin their next offensive possession, leading by 6.
Yeah, that was a brave move there by Miko. Nearly had that one blocked by Cody Baker. Lucky to get that one off, honestly.
Josh?
Oh, we'd like to thank another great sponsor here on High Top Sports Network, making this evening's broadcast possible. Carson Boyer Funeral Home Incorporated. One of our great sponsors there, Brian Myers, tremendous supporter of West Shamokin Athletics and High Top Sports Network.
And newly re-elected
For the third term.
Third term, Armstrong County Coroner. So congratulations to Brian for that. The first play of this West Shamokin drive is, I believe, a carry. I was kind of looking down at the screen there. Got kind of our cords tangled there, Josh.
Yeah, we did.
And so I kind of missed that play, but now Swartz will have a 2nd and 7. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 at the top, and a back flank to his left. Gets this out quickly on a slant, and open was Lou Swartz, but missing on the throw, high and a little bit in front was Bo Swartz. That'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, good look there. Just a quick drop back for Bo Swartz. But like you said, just a little too high and a bit too in front of Lou Swartz there on the play. And now we're sitting at 3rd and 7.
And the pass-heavy offense of West Shamokin continuing that trend. I'm not sure, except for that, maybe that last carry. Not too many running backs getting into the action. Most of the running coming from Bo Swartz thus far in this first quarter. He's going to drop back. Gets through some pressure, but brought down. A nice job using that upper body there. Was number 56 for the Mustangs. He is not on my roster.
Braden or Rabbits?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the West Shamokin roster. No wonder. That is indeed, yes, Braden or Rabbits with the big sack on Swartz. Make it 4th and long, and now Swartz will likely punt here. Back deep is number 15 and number 11. That is, of course, Gavin Gauss and Caden Clark, respectively. And the snap over Swartz's head. He's going to try to pick this up. He tries to punt it, but diving on top of it, he misses it. A swing and a miss by Swartz. Would have been better served just kind of diving on top of that and taking the safety instead. The ball is recovered in the end zone for one of the easiest touchdowns these Mustangs will see all season. And that knots it up at 13 all. Didn't get a look at what number. I think it was number 33, gentlemen? Anybody get a number there?
I couldn't get a good look at it. It was chaos down there, Joe.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get our replay back up. It's 13 all, and West Shamokin missing the extra point on their last touchdown. Trying to watch the replay here on our screen, but let me see if we can get it. That's a little hard for us to see as well. We apologize there, but again, as I was about to say there, West Shamokin missing the extra point on their last touchdown. That could loom large, and right now could be the start of that. The extra point here, up and no good. So the Wolves dodging a bullet there by the missed extra point by the Mustangs, and we are tied up at 13 all with 2:51 left in this first quarter. Jake, you mentioned it. Maybe a knockdown, drag-out, offensive-minded game about to happen here at Portage.
Yeah, I mean, that touchdown there is very disastrous for West Shamokin. Didn't want that to happen at all, obviously. But now the offense gets back out there. Bo Swartz, who, it was a high snap. I don't think it would be fair to put it on Bo Swartz there in that play, but we'll see how he reacts after that play here now, playing quarterback again.
Yeah, you can't blame the snap on Bo, but he probably should have just dove on top of that. He had the pressure bearing down on him, little room to even get that kick off. And with that pressure looming, he kind of just swung and missed with that right foot of his, and that allowed the Mustangs to pounce and get 6. They went on to miss that extra point to keep things at 13 all. But again, I think overall, West Shamokin dodging some bullets overall. That touchdown pass that deflected off the intended receiver and into the hands of another target. How the Wolves got their first touchdown, just a sky-high throw that somehow got in. And right there, another tough one for the Wolves. They might want to clean some of these things up because this Portage team is doing a good job of capitalizing on those mistakes.
Gentlemen, we'd like to thank another great sponsor for this evening's broadcast, Avi's in Royal Valley.
We are all big fans of Avi's Tavern. We were there last week, Jake, I believe, before a round of golf.
Yeah, that's correct. We both got a burger. Always recommend their burgers at Avi's. Got a great menu. Their wings are fantastic. Can't go wrong with the seasoned fries as that ball pops out.
Yeah, the return there. Lucky that went out of bounds. Another break for the Wolves. Number 6, Christian Sharp, heading for the sideline. Hit around the 30-yard line. I'm not sure if you could advance that. It looks like they're going to give it to him, though. I didn't think you could advance a fumble like that out of bounds, but they're going to mark it at the 34-yard line. So decent starting field position, but Sharp unable to hold on to that ball. Lucky that it did bounce out of bounds. And again, some of these little small mistakes that the Wolves have been able to dodge. Continuing here, Swartz going to throw high and intercepted over the head of Lou Swartz. Picking that one off is number 11, Caden Clark. He's got some room down the sideline, and Bo Swartz forces him out. An errant throw by the senior quarterback. The intended target was his younger brother, Lou, but waiting for it was Caden Clark, and a nice return off the INT for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and really a rare interception there for Bo Swartz. Only threw 3 in the regular season, but so far the first quarter MVP. It's kind of hard to believe we're still in the first quarter. The first quarter MVP has to be Caden Clark. So far had that long kickoff return followed by the touchdown on the quick little slant route there, and now coming up with an interception to put this Mustangs team in prime field position again. And that's one thing that has benefited this Portage team, is they've often started out with the ball on offense in prime field position.
And the case is that again, and you mentioned it, Clark. Certainly, it's his world right now. We're all just living in it. With 2:33 left here in the first quarter, man in motion. He's going to get the handoff. He's going to look to throw now. That's Clark. Into the end zone, 50-50 ball going up. There's going to be a tangle for it. It looks like number 15 might have came down with it. He did. What a great job there. Just literally a 50-50 ball. And number 15, that's Gavin Gauss, able to catch it off of the end around handoff to the aforementioned Caden Clark with the touchdown throw. No, it was not the quarterback for the Mustangs, but instead the wide receiver with the touchdown pass to put Portage ahead now 20-13 with the extra point upcoming.
Yeah, and it was good coverage by Christian Sharp there as well. Like you said, a 50-50 ball. It looked like both Sharp and Gauss had their arms around that ball. That one's wide as well. But, yeah, just really a good play there by Gavin Gauss, and head coach Marty Slanock really pulling out all the stops here with the trick play in the first quarter here.
That's a great call there, Jake. You get that good starting field position, and what do you do with the first play of the drive, but use some trickery. It didn't necessarily fool the Wolves, as you said. Sharp with good coverage, but just a better job of getting that combat catch and kind of out-jumping Sharp was Gavin Gauss. As Jake mentioned there, the extra point, a wide right once again. So the kicking game so far for both these teams, not ideal, but also not ideal is this recent stretch by West Shamokin, making some uncharacteristic mistakes, and as Jake mentioned a moment ago, giving the Mustangs some excellent starting field position pretty much throughout this entire first quarter.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because I asked how was Bo Swartz going to react after he couldn't corral the punt and get it off in time. First play back on offense, looked a little shaken up there, or looked a little shaken, and threw that interception. So now he's got to get back out there, answer the bell after that interception, and see if he can't drive West Shamokin's offense down the field after they had a lot of success doing so in the beginning part of this quarter.
19-13 the score now, and Dylan Tubbs to kick off, and we want to sneak in a quick thank you to AE Recon Welding, the best welders in the business. If you need 2 giant hunks of metal permanently fused together or taken apart, whatever you need, any welding need whatsoever, call the fine folks at AE Recon Welding. The return handled cleanly, cutting back to the middle of the field, looking for a seam, and bouncing off one Portage player and then being wrapped up by a pile of others. There, I believe, was number 6. We've called his name quite a few times. That is Christian Sharp. And the Wolves will start at their own 33-yard line here with just over 2 minutes to play in quarter number 1. The Wolves' last offensive possession ending early with an interception, an errant throw by Bo Swartz over the head of Lou Swartz and into the hands of Clar. Man in motion, gets the handoff. This is number 20, and that is Owen Stover. Stover's going to get out to about maybe the original line of scrimmage. A lot of running, but running side to side was Stover. And it looks like they're going to mark him out right about the, maybe about, they're going to say behind, a yard behind the line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. One of the few times we've seen a ball carrier be someone other than Bo Swartz.
Yeah, Lou got a carry on that first possession, but really has just been a receiving target since then, as you can see him lined out wide on the bottom of your screen.
I believe Swartz is actually at the top of your screen. 3 receivers at the bottom. Here's a designed quarterback run by Swartz. He's going to get up past the 30, we'll say the 37-yard line, where that will bring up a 3rd and let's say about 7. I'll say 3rd and 6. Trust the fine people here that are running the scoreboard, and they put up a 6, so I'll go with it.
Sounds good to me.
Wolves not really getting into much of a huddle here. They're going to kind of just quickly get back to the line of scrimmage. More of a bunch formation here. We've seen them spread out pretty wide so far here in this first quarter. Man in motion, that's Stover. Bringing 3 receivers here to the bottom of your screen. That's where Swartz is going to receive the snap and roll out. Throwing again towards the sideline, but nowhere near the intended receiver. I think it was Lou Swartz, and someone in the area there as well was Stover. And a 4th and 6, so a quick 3 and out for West Shamokin here. Certainly don't think they're going to go for it now, trailing by 6 and deep in their own territory. That will bring Clar and number 15, the one and only Gavin Gauss, back deep to return the punt. So really the Wolves offense pretty sharp there for the first few minutes of this game, but some mistakes and some quick 3 and outs like you saw there. Another high snap. Swartz gets that in, but Wolves kind of self-inflicted wounds here thus far, preventing them from capitalizing on some of these opportunities. Coming near sideline, stiff arm, but Stover's able to bring down Caden Clar at the 38-yard line, their own 38-yard line. And, you know, Jake, we talked about field position here so much, and this might actually be the worst starting field position that Portage has had thus far, but still not terrible. They're going to start from the 38-yard line.
Yeah, not like they've had to have their backs against their own end zone. I agree with you. This has to be the worst starting field position they've had so far, but still not bad. 38-yard line, your own 38, that's a nice place to start a drive.
And the drive will begin with 5 receivers. Some guys didn't even really move off, but a quick little throw there. It's going to pick up a nice little chunk of yardage, about 7 yards on a quick slant. I believe that receiver actually didn't move at the snap. There were a couple guys that decided to move when the ball was snapped, and a couple guys kind of just stood there. But it worked out for Portage. Again, that'll bring up a 2nd and 3. Not sure who the receiver was there.
That was Caden Clar on the reception, and then Colton Dunmeyer on the tackle.
Clar continuing his stellar first quarter. Almost nearly 30 seconds left here in the first. Gonna have to roll. He's gonna decide to keep this. Does the quarterback Andrew Miko, and he's knocked out of bounds by number 6 of the Wolves. That is Christian Sharp, but not until the Portage Mustangs are able to pick up another first down with 26 seconds left on the clock. Nice job by the Portage signal caller to kind of keep that one, decide to kind of tuck it and run and pick up some significant yardage and a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, Miko showing off the legs a little bit on that last play. This season, in the regular season, Miko has passed for over 700 yards, just at 722, and not a big threat on the ground, only 89 rushing yards, but 2 touchdowns as well in his name, but he showed off he can do it all.
The man in motion receives this handoff from Miko and knocked out of bounds at about the, we're going to say the 35-yard line. Another nice pickup. Man in motion receives it. That was number 25 for the Mustangs. Ty Kennedy, a fullback, able to turn that one upfield and bring up a 2nd and 3. Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Getting it on another end around there. There's a flag on the play. And a nice tackle by Lou Swartz. The ball carrier there was number 33, Orrin Heidler. Oh, sorry, Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Jace Irvin on the hold on Lou Swartz there. So this play is definitely going to be coming back here.
And what's impressive about that one, guys, is the fact that Lou, despite being held, still was able to track down the ball carrier quite quickly and single-handedly bring him to the ground. So Lou Swartz, we've seen him do some special things on the offensive side here with the touchdown reception tonight. Now doing it on the defensive end and pinning the Portage Mustangs with a 3rd and 3. So I'm gonna guess they declined that then.
And they must trust their defense in 3rd and short. I don't know if they're going to get another playoff here. Time's winding down.
3 seconds. Miko does get it. Pressure in the backfield. Tries to throw that one. Luckily, there was a man in the area, number 20. Originally, it's Mason Cargo. It looked like at first that might have been an intentional grounding, but Cargo kind of doing a good job of coming back to the football to prevent the call from happening. And that is how the first quarter will end here in Portage, Pennsylvania, in the District 6 quarterfinal Class A round between the Portage Mustangs and West Shamokin Wolves. Portage leads 19-13 as we head into quarter number 2. So we're going to take a quick break here for Jake DeLuca, Josh Schreckengoss, and myself, Joe Rhodes. We'll return here with more District 6 football in a minute.
Protecting the things you love and how you do so is among the most important decisions you'll ever have to make. TGIF Solutions can provide you with the peace of mind by supplying answers to all of your insurance needs, whether it be home, auto, business, life, or farm coverage. Contact the team at the Shellhammer Atwood Agency today in West Katanning to be sure that you, your loved ones, and the things that matter most stay safe when it matters the most. TGIF Solutions, insurance for what matters.
And welcome back to scenic and very green Portage, Pennsylvania. The score, Portage 19, West Shamokin 13, here on High Top Sports Network. Want to thank you for tuning in. Jake DeLuca to my right, Josh Schreckengoss to my left, and I'm Joe Rhodes. So pleased to not just be here with you, but be here with the guys I just mentioned. Our first football game together this year. The band is back. We are all... how do I say this? We're owners of High Top Sports Network, so we don't always get to spend time together on broadcast, but that's kind of the special nature of playoffs, the playoffs, that allow us to make that happen. So great to be here with you guys. Nowhere else I'd rather be. Man in motion. Low snap. That's loose. And I think Miko was able to dive on top of it. It looked like for a second that the West Shamokin player, number 53, had an opportunity at it. That was Taylor Goldstrom, but... instead, the Mustangs dodge a bullet of their own.
Well, I mean, either way, it would have been a turnover. A fumble recovery won't go in the stat sheet for West Shamokin, but a turnover on downs, about the same.
Another wide set for West Shamokin on their first snap of this drive and their first possession of the second quarter. Lou Swartz gets in motion, gets to his brother's right. He's going to receive the handoff, take it left, put his head down, and try to move that pile, and he does. Despite having 4 Mustangs draped around him, he's able to get up past the 40-yard line. We're going to say the 41. Maybe not a great spot there. They're going to mark him out at like the 40.5. And really turning nothing into something there was the sophomore Lou. Sweet Lou.
Sweet
Swartz.
Lou.
Jake, you mentioned you got a chance to talk to John McCullough, and you called him Sweet Lou, and you said Coach kind of snickered or laughed at it and thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Coach McCullough. I said, Sweet Lou's just running people over this year. He chuckled and agreed.
Now the other Swartz will take off and run. He gets past the 50, and they're going to say nearly on a late hit there. But Swartz knocked out of bounds in Mustangs territory at the 46, and that will bring up a fresh set of downs, a welcome sight for West Shamokin, who has seen some 3-and-outs here in the latter part of the first quarter. A first down on their first possession of the second quarter.
Yeah, and that's big. They've been held to 3-and-outs on back-to-back possessions offensively. It's finally, it's got to feel good to get that monkey off their back after their offense had so much success in the first half of the first quarter. Finally able to move the chains there on that play by Bo Swartz.
And very much like what we've seen from Portage, quickly back to the line are the Wolves. Swartz going to throw outside high, little bit behind the intended receiver, Stover. Still maybe a catchable ball. No one around him really had an opportunity to turn that one upfield, but instead another incompletion brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Wolves.
Yeah, and I think maybe Stover cut his route off a little early. Saw him turn around there while the ball was still in the air. I think if he finishes that out and runs a little more towards that far sideline, it might be a little more catchable for him.
Ideally, you'd like to see that ball a little bit out in front of Stover. That one was clearly behind him, but again, still very catchable, and one the Wolves could use at this point, trailing by 6. Another design quarterback run. The other Swartz is going to keep his legs moving and move the pile down to the 25. An excellent run by quarterback Bo Swartz to set the Wolves up deep now in Mustangs territory.
Yeah, right there with him, escorting him down the field was Colton Dunmeyer, one of the offensive linemen here for West Shamokin, helping Bo push along for those extra few yards at the end.
Quickly back to the line once again are the Wolves. Trips to the top of their screen, top of the screen with Stover and Swartz and Sharp together up there. The bottom of your screen by himself, by his lonesome, number 8. That is Camden Eddy. This one thrown out quickly to number 20, the aforementioned Owen Stover. Going to pick up I'll say about 3. A nice chunk of yardage on first down. You always want to try to get 3, at least 3 yards on that first down, make things easier on your offense. And a nice job by the Wolves to get that ball out to their shifty running back, or wide receiver, actually, Owen Stover, able to bring up a 2nd and 6. Couple men in motion. Stover, as you see, coming down to split the difference, and that's going to be a flag against the Wolves, a false start, clear as day, and that's going to set the Wolves back. We talked about how important it was to set yourself up with a 2nd and manageable, and that is not going to be the case now after the false start by the Wolves.
Yeah, sets him up for a 2nd and 11 there, and I like the matchup here on the outside, on the near sideline. Stover came in motion, had one-on-one coverage with Caden Clark, but the false start will move him back one line behind the original line of scrimmage.
3 receivers to the bottom, 1 at the top. The lone receiver at the top is Lou Swartz. A flag again, and I think this is going to go against the Wolves. Bo Swartz is going to throw it up and see if he can get it to Lou, and Lou comes down with it. But I think the penalty is probably going to go against the Wolves. What an outrageous catch by Lou Swartz nonetheless. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to count. Bo Swartz with his hands on his hips around the 25-yard line, looking in the direction of the referees. Now he's kind of signaling touchdown. We will have to wait and see. But what a ridiculous catch by Lou Swartz.
Yeah, Lou Swartz, listed at 6 foot, 225. I think they might be embellishing a little bit on his height, but
and they're going to pick up that flag, Jake and Josh. Wow, another break for the Wolves. You thought for certain they were going to get bit by the penalty bug there, but instead the ridiculous catch by the sophomore Lou Swartz counts. And boy, oh boy, what a catch it was. We are knotted up at 19.
Yeah, that was what they call it, getting mossed.
Man, oh man, I didn't think he had any chance of getting that, Jake, and just kind of just grabbed it out of the air. Mossed indeed. It's like he over-jumped it. Now the Wolves are going to go for 2 with all the kicking troubles that both teams have had. Bo just throws this one up as well, and over the head of the intended target, Stover, and that'll keep us knotted up at 19. So the Wolves able to strike and tie this one up. Kicking woes and the kicking game not a part of this one, so probably going to see some 2-point conversions moving forward, but we are knotted up at 19 in this offensive showcase continuing here at Portage. Josh,
Yeah, Joe.
who do you want to thank?
I would like to thank everybody. TGIF Solutions, the official social media sponsor of High Top Sports Network and the home of the Shellhammer Atwood Agency, is proud to be one of our scoreboard sponsors this evening. The experienced professionals at TGIF Solutions can assist you and your loved ones with any insurance need, big or small. TGI Solutions specializes in all types of insurance: auto, home, family, business, farm, and commercial. Visit tgif.solutions to get your personalized quote today. TGIF Solutions, insurance for what matters.
So the Wolves will kick it off. And again, not the cleanest of halves thus far for the Wolves. Bo Swartz getting away with a couple just kind of, how do I say it, high arcing throws that are kind of dangerous. But he's been fortunate to have his brother on the other end of some of those and bring those in and kind of escape danger. And the Wolves catching a break of their own in the first drive of the game, a punt that was botched, and they were able to recover. That was turned into 6. So really some sloppy plays for both sides really in this first half. But offense, certainly the story thus far. We have 38 points scored here, and we still have 9:36 left in the first half.
Yeah, Bo Swartz, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 going to brother Lou Swartz.
This ball is loose and picked up. I think that's Clar who is got it off the deflection. He's going to move the pile forward, and he dropped at the 39, and that's where the Portage Mustangs and their quarterback, Andrew Miko, will take over. Miko, the 6', 165 junior quarterback, trots onto the field.
Yeah, and so far, whenever West Shamokin scores, Portage quick with an answer of their own. We'll see what Miko and company can do here on this drive.
And as you mentioned, Jake and Josh, in that first quarter, Caden Clar, the story, you see him at the bottom of your screen. Tight formation between the hashes. Man in motion gets the ball. That's number 25, Ty Kennedy, the fullback. Saw him get one of these earlier. He's going to make a nice run out, take a nice run out of this one into West Shamokin territory and brought down at the 31-yard line. Looked like there might have been a hold towards the end of that run, but they're going to say clean, and a great run again by the fullback.
Yeah, and a shout-out goes to Braden Orovitz there, laying down the block on that far sideline to spring forward Ty Kennedy for an additional 10 yards or so. Great job overall on that run.
Excellent blocking by the Mustangs. They're in business now. 9:19 left. Here's the snap. Another man in motion. Once again getting it is number 33, Orrin Heidler. And he is dropped, I'm going to say, just behind the line of scrimmage. A nice job collapsing there was the West Shamokin defense. Will bring up a 2nd and long. Again, a second straight run by Orrin Heidler. Oh, Heidler didn't have that last one. I do apologize. I do not believe.
It was Ty Kennedy on the previous run.
It was indeed Ty Kennedy. I thought it was a fullback. We saw Kennedy have a nice little run as the fullback earlier in this game. Another man in motion, double reverse. This is going to be Orrin Heidler again, and he is dropped. Their late flag coming in from the downfield judge, thrown right around where the tackle happened. In on the tackle was Lou Swartz. Be curious to see if they're going to call a late hit on this or what the case may be. But the ball was spotted at the 32. And this penalty is going to certainly move the ball from that spot.
Yeah, didn't see the signal from the official. I just saw them pointing towards West Shamokin side of the field.
And we talked, Jake, you mentioned it in the first quarter that as a face mask, it looks like. And that will put the ball at, I'm going to say accidental. It wasn't the 15-yard variety. They're going to spot that at the 26. And, Jake, you mentioned about the Portage Mustangs dipping into the bag of tricks right there, a double reverse. Ball handed off.
Yeah, I think
Twice.
every run on this drive so far has been kind of one of those sweeping jet sweeps.
Again, man in motion again. He won't get it this time. This is going to open up the pass. There's going to be a holding call here, so a free play. And Portage might as well just kind of get out of bounds and avoid anything or big hit. And able to do so there was Miko, but that one's going to be brought back quickly. The referee signaling the holding call.
So 5 yards forward, then 10 yards back.
Saw that earlier in the first quarter as well. Got to be frustrating. Get that catch a break and have a down in short yardage and then give it right back immediately on the next play. And this one's going to go the whole way back, Jake, to the 43-yard line. So not good for Portage there after what has been a promising drive thus far with some trickery and some nice runs, as you mentioned, on those jet sweeps and end arounds. And that now suddenly stalled, and the scoreboard showing a 2nd and 19.
Yeah, from 2nd and 2 to 2nd and 19. That certainly changes the play calling.
Tight formation again, man in motion. He's going to get the carry. Another double reverse. But the Wolves are all over this one, and unable to get back to the line of scrimmage was the ball carrier, the second ball carrier nonetheless. That was number 11. Said his name several times, Caden Clark, dropped for a loss.
Yeah, and maybe going to the well a little too often with those double reverses here on this drive. It worked the first couple of times, but now West Shamokin seems to be expecting it, and the defense able to blow that play up for a loss. Or no, actually it was a gain of 2 they're going to call it. So
it's still not very substantial, in a 2nd and very long, which now brings up a 3rd and very long, a 3rd and 17 to be exact for the Mustangs offense. You would imagine they're going to have to go to the air here, kind of close to maybe 4-down territory. We will see. Rolling out to his left is Andrew Miko. Dropping far back. He's deep into his own territory, but he turns this one upfield now. He's going to keep carrying it. There's another flag. It looks like a Wolf is down as a result. So this one's going to be brought back again, maybe an illegal hit. And you never want to see that because a West Shamokin player is down. Give credit, though, to Miko. Down for the Wolves real quickly is number 55. That is, unfortunately, Derek Blos. He's being attended to now, but back to that play, you got to give, despite the penalty there, you got to give Andrew Miko some credit. I would say he ran about the equivalent of 40 yards there, Jake, maybe more, from running sideline to sideline. You thought he was trapped there in the far end, but instead he turns it back to this side of the field and up the sideline for a substantial gain, but it will not count once this penalty is assessed.
yeah, and good to see out there Derek Blows able to jog back to the right back into the huddle. So must have just been a quick little stinger there for the junior.
That's good to see him up quickly. You want everybody in this game to be healthy. It's the playoffs. These kids work so hard all season long to be under these lights and in these circumstances, and you want them all to be able to take it in and enjoy it and help contribute to either of their teams. So good to see that young man back up. After that penalty, the rare 3rd and 46, gentlemen.
Oh, man. Don't know if I've seen that one in a while.
So Miko and his offensive teammates have their work cut out for them here. A 3rd and 46, 7-11 left here in quarter number 2. Game tied 19-all. Handoff up the middle, little bit of room, and tackled around the 40-yard line was number 37, John Wolford, the senior running back / outside linebacker.
Yeah, Bo and Lou Swartz combining on that tackle.
Certainly a family affair here at for the West Shamokin Wolves. We've mentioned those two young men quite often. I probably fear that I've called Bo Lou at times and Lou Bo at times. I wouldn't be surprised. It's as frequently as we're speaking of those two young men, probably has happened and probably still will. Snap a little bit to the right, but gathered in and getting it away was number 8 for the Mustangs, Miko, and a fair catch. Not a bad punt, and they'll pin the Wolves at the 28-yard line. And while we have an opportunity, we'd love to thank another one of our tremendous sponsors. That is Avi's Tavern. We spoke of it earlier. Great little stop for the high top guys before we go golfing, right near where we golf often. And whether you want a burger or a ice cold pop, it's the place to go. And great ambiance, great service, friendly people there. And we are so proud that one of our favorite establishments are on with us tonight. That's Avi's Tavern. Here's a throw and high once again by Bo Swartz. Again, maybe something that was catchable, intended for Lou Swartz, but Bo Swartz kind of struggling with his mid-range accuracy right now over the head of his brother Lou would bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of pressure getting into the backfield here. Swartz, more often than not, has had to break the pocket and kind of create space for himself to get the throw off there. Just maybe hurried that one a little bit there on the near sideline pass to Lou Swartz.
And when Bo Swartz has missed, Jake, it's been kind of high. We've noticed that maybe high and out front, and that was the case there again. Looks like a whistle will blow, and a timeout will be taken by the West Shamokin Wolves. So we too will take a timeout. For Jake DeLuca, Josh Schreckengast, and Joe Rhodes, we'll be right back here in a jiff.
Just finishing up a 100% outside renovation project at the Botanic Store. Don't miss out. Come and see us. Check out our Pennsylvania skill game room. We have the newest machines, the newest games. We have 5 machines. We're about to add a 6th machine. $10,000 jackpots on all 6 machines. Don't miss out on a chance to win. We have the lowest possible prices and the best quality of anybody in the area. We'll take it up against anybody in the area. We put our stamp of approval, #SableMeat, on every single package, and we're here to serve you every single day. We also have chef-prepared, chef-quality prepared sushi, everyday fresh, and Sushi Wednesday, $5 sushi rolls, and you can win.
And sorry to cut our very good friend Ryan Sprankle off there. That commercial just always so long. We've talked about shrinking it down a little bit. We need to do that. We'll do that for winner. Wolves with the ball, 6:25 left. Swartz in the gun. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. He looks that direction and throws it late. Again, high and over the head of the intended target. That is Christian Sharp. So again, Swartz missing on 2 consecutive throws, both over the head of the intended targets, and that brings up a 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it seems like something that would be very easily adjustable because he's missing high about in the same spot on each of the throws where he misses high, I suppose.
And it really seems like Swartz has excelled when he's been able to buy time. Josh, you mentioned early on in the game, almost like old Ben Roethlisberger, just kind of extending plays and allowing guys to get open. And when he's just gone to a 3-step drop or a 5-step drop, it's not worked out as well for the West Shamokin offense. Here's Swartz with some time. Wide open down the middle is Stover. He's down past the 35-yard line, we'll say, and down at the 34. And dart by Bo Swartz, finding his target, number 20. That, of course, is Owen Stover.
Yeah, Stover just streaking out of the slot there, and a great throw by Bo Swartz to hit him in stride. And this sets up this West Shamokin offense with some pretty good field position here with under 6 to go in the first half.
Wolves in Mustangs territory, under 6 minutes, as Jake mentioned, and after 2 kind of lousy throws by Bo Swartz, that one on a dart. On a line here, Swartz, he's going to run juke a little bit. Stiff arm a guy and be brought down at the 10-yard line. What a nifty run there by the quarterback, Bo Swartz. And he had a couple of those high throws, follows it up with just an absolute dart over the middle of the field to Stover, and then takes one himself for a big gain. And we are now in the red zone. Wolves looking to score here. Now keep in mind, we have 5:36 left in the second quarter, but the Mustangs will receive the opening kickoff the second half, so I'm sure the Wolves very eager to score here, make sure they take advantage of every opportunity before the Mustangs receive that second half kickoff. Swartz going to throw a little fade to the back corner. That one's on the dot, and that one's brought down by who else? Lou Swartz with another beautiful catch and a great throw by Bo Swartz.
3rd touchdown of the half receiving for Lou Swartz. 4th passing touchdown in the first half for Bo Swartz. And we still have 5 minutes on the clock here in the first half. I said at the beginning, we might have a shootout on our hands here. And so far, my prediction has delivered.
You know, we are a good, what do you say here, fellas, 60 yards away from where that was, 65 yards away from where that catch came down. But watching Lou Swartz, it's like a baby Gronk. Using those hands, not afraid to just use strictly the hands, doesn't need to bring it into the body at all, just showing those strong hands in the case there again as Bo Swartz puts it up top for his younger brother who brings it in for the touchdown. Wolves will go for 2. Here's a pitch outside. This one looks like it's going to be swallowed up and stopped by Portage. Nice job by the Mustangs to eat that one up. And again, it's going to be interesting to see how this game plays out. Both teams not having a lot of success in the kicking game, even on extra points. And the Wolves the last 2 times have gone for 2-point conversions, failing on both. They now lead 25-19.
Yeah, and a patient run there on the two-point conversion by Lou Swartz, waiting for the blockers to kind of pick up along the left side of that offensive line. Unfortunately for West Shamokin, though, Portage right there to snuff that out.
Yeah, Portage read that play right off the rip, Jake. And again, it's interesting to see that, and it will be interesting to see moving forward how this special teams game plays into this contest. As we mentioned, for the Mustangs, 2 missed extra points already for them, and the Wolves with a failed extra point, a blocked extra point I want to say that was in the first quarter. It was indeed, and they've gone for 2-point conversions on their last 2 touchdown scores. So that could really impact the scoring. It's who is going to be able to, knock that in, or if you go for the 2-point conversion, get it in, or which kicker is going to be confident enough to keep it through the uprights. And that could be mighty decisive as this game goes on, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. The kicking game, such a crucial part. If you have a good kicker in high school football, it is a huge advantage over most teams. And we saw Dylan Tubbs warming up out there before the game, and he was knocking in some field goals pretty consistently. So a little surprised to see him struggling the way that he has in the beginning of this game, kicking extra points. But nevertheless, that's the situation for both of these teams.
Josh.
Yes, guys, would like to thank another great sponsor for this evening's broadcast. That's Shop and Save at Franklin Village. And guess what? Head up to Shop and Save and get all of your holiday needs. The essential everyday frozen tom turkeys, just 88 cents a pound. Was up there and spoke with Mr. O'Connell, and he said, hey, these turkeys are on sale. They're going to go quick. So make sure you stop up there and get them. Honeysuckle white frozen hen or tom turkeys, 98 cents a pound. And Angus boneless sirloin tip roast, $4.99 a pound. You can get all of your produce needs and all of your holiday cooking needs at Shop and Save at Franklin Village. And remember, fuel perks every day, guys.
So it looks like the Wolves will re-kick here, a penalty assessed, and looks like the Mustangs will elect to have the Wolves re-kick. It was an illegal procedure call there, and the Wolves are going to be pushed back here now in this kickoff. They're going to have to kick it from the 35, but a tough kicking day for these teams, continuing as Sports knocked that one out around the 20-yard line, so not a lot of distance and heading straight for the sidelines. Kind of bailed out, though, but unfortunately now he's going to have to kick it from the 35. So essentially the Mustangs looking to have a good field position once more. Swartz gets a hold of this one. It's brought in at the 20-yard line. Plenty of room up the middle. This Clar stutter steps a little bit and then dropped at the 41-yard line, and that's where Miko and the Portage offense will begin. They trail by 6.
Yeah, good tackle there by Wadding, and I watched that kickoff there, and it goes to Clar, and we already seen him rip one up the field in the first quarter. So you always kind of hold your breath whenever Clar has the ball in his hands. Good job containing that one on the kickoff return by West Shamokin.
A lot of handoffs to men in motion so far in this second quarter by Portage. A man in motion right here. He's not going to get it. The back will instead, but met and brought down ferociously by number 55. That, of course, is Derek Blos. We saw him down earlier and back like he never left there, dropping the ball carrier for a loss.
Yeah, he was waiting on the counter play there, didn't bite whenever the quarterback brought it around to the far side. Stood pat and waited for the ball to come back around, and he gets the tackle for the loss there.
So a 2nd and 11 that the Mustangs will face here. Clock continues to roll. 4:36 left in the first half. A very spread out formation now for the first time in a while for these Mustangs, but heavy in pursuit is Blos, but getting it away and plenty of room for the first down, a wide open. Guess who else for these Mustangs but number 11, Jake, Caden Clar.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it's Caden Clar's world. We're just living in it. He has been the sole, really the brightest spot on the field here for the Portage Mustangs in this first half.
And back to the line of scrimmage, quick snap. Another jet sweep there. Quickly, the Wolves appeared to have it kind of sniffed out, but kind of doing a little bit of hesitation. A late flag coming in here again.
The back judge there really showing off the arm strength on that flag toss.
Talk about a cannon. We've seen one from Bo Swartz as well as Andrew Miko. But let's give some props, as you said there, to the man in stripes, showing off the cannon.
Yeah, he threw that from about the 15-yard line in Portage territory, and as you can see, it's right shy of the 40.
And I think that's a personal foul call, so not the first we've seen, and that does not please the Portage faithful here. They're going to be pinned back. You saw them with a 3rd and 46 on their last drive, and they're going to have a 1st and long here. I think about a first and 25. Yeah. So the Portage Mustangs now encountering some of their own self-inflicted wounds here. A 1st and 22, they're going to say. 3:51 left on the clock, and their work cut out for them here as they trail by 6. Give credit, though, to the tenacious West Shamokin defense. We mentioned him a moment ago, number 55. That is Derek Blos, doing a good job getting some penetration there. Another flag out in the field. This one thrown well out ahead of the intended receiver, number 15. Derek, that's West Shamokin's roster, number 15, Gavin Gauss. We'll see what the flag is, but I'm going to assume it's going to go against the Mustangs and make this down in distance that much further.
Yeah, West Shamokin declining that penalty. I mean,
What do
it's
you need?
already 3rd and a country mile, so don't need to tack on the extra yardage. West Shamokin happy to take the down there.
Yeah, great call there, Jake. And I think the Wolves kind of playing into that decision was hopefully getting the ball back here and having enough time to do something before the half. We mentioned a moment ago that the Mustangs will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. So if you're the Wolves, you certainly want to try to tack on as many points here before we head to the second half. And in motion, he's going to get the handoff. Going out to the far left side, and some nice blocking out in front of number 25, Ty Kennedy, that fullback again, running like a running back and not a fullback. Out past the 46-yard line. Another nice run on the jet sweep for Portage. And some great blocking, as I mentioned, out in front of the ball carrier. Portage has been doing a pretty solid job all throughout this evening of knowing where these ball carriers are going to be and getting those big bodies out in front of them.
Yeah, Ty Kennedy, kind of the secret weapon for this Portage team, wasn't really a large factor in the regular season on the ground, only rushing for 32 yards on 5 attempts in the regular season. But, he's been the lead back for this Portage team, the one that's really getting the results out here for the Mustangs.
And as to not give the Wolves too much time, Portage lets the clock roll down. The play clock, down to 0, calling a timeout just moments before that. 2:44 left and a 4th and 12 upcoming. So the Wolves will have an opportunity to strike once more before the half. They lead 25-19 in this District 6 Class A quarterfinal. The number 4 seeded Portage Mustangs and the number 5 seeded West Shamokin Wolves.
Talk to him, Josh.
Joe, we'd like to thank another great sponsor here for this evening's broadcast. That's Carson Boyer Funeral Home Incorporated. After losing a loved one, you can trust the funeral directors at Carson Boyer Funeral Home Incorporated to help you celebrate your loved one's life. Their staff has experience planning a variety of funeral services and can assist your family in honoring your loved one, no matter your personal preference, budget, culture, or religion. Carson Boyer Funeral Home Incorporated prides itself on serving the Royal Valley community and surrounding areas with compassion, dignity, and respect.
Great read there, Josh, and thank you again to the folks at the Carson Boyer Funeral Home, and we thank you out there for tuning in tonight on High Top Sports Network. Make sure you visit us online at hightopsportsnetwork.com. Find the green donate button, hit it, and whatever you feel like giving away, go for it. We appreciate it, and it'll allow us to continue to do what we do here on HTSN. And the punt, long hold there to allow the team or the return team to get down on there, and that's booted out of bounds. Not a great kick, and that'll give Wolves the ball at the 25, so not terrible. Certainly, still to this point, Jake, and we mentioned this several times, the Mustangs getting much better field position to start drives than the Wolves. Another case of that here. The Wolves at the 25, so they're going to have to go 75 yards with 2:37 left here in quarter number 2.
Yeah, West Shamokin still with 2 timeouts in their pocket as well. Still plenty of time to march down the field and get a score. And going up 2 possessions before halftime would count huge for the Wolves if they can pull it off.
Bo Swartz in the gun. 2 receivers at the top, 2 at the bottom. Running back flanked to his left. He's going to pump fake to his left, look to his right. Going to keep running. Throw it across the middle. Good throw on the run, finding Stover at the 40-yard line. That'll stop the clock briefly while the chains move, but a nice throw on the run once again by Bo Swartz. I think he must have heard me criticize those first 2 throws because he's been dynamite ever since.
Yeah, that one right into the chest of Stover. Great throw, great catch, and that moves him down the field.
2:18 clock rolling now that the chains have been set. Swartz again in the gun. Don't think we've seen him under center once today. And that one a little high. And there's going to be a flag here. I think it's going to go against the West Shamokin offensive line. But once again, taking another big hit. We saw something similar. Was Christian Sharp being met right as that ball got to him as he was leaping for it. And the ball dislodged, but even worse for the Wolves, a holding call will move them back 5 yards with 2:09 left in quarter number 2. Josh, you want to thank somebody else?
I want to thank everyone, Joe. Everyone that's made this broadcast possible this evening. We'd like to thank Steffi's Country Catering in Adrian.
Yummy.
Sumptuous, my friend. With over 40 years of experience, Steffi's Country Catering provides you sumptuous home-cooked food served by a friendly professional staff to make your next event worry-free. Ask about their grazing tables,
And 3-tier cheese balls trays.
3-tiered cheese balls.
A nice dump outside. You haven't seen the Wolves really go to this kind of parallel passing game like we've seen from the Mustangs. But that is a nice little gain there. I believe that was number 2, if I'm not mistaken, Jake. That is Lou Swartz with a nice run after catch.
Yeah, gets him back to the original line of scrimmage here now, back to a 2nd and 10. And that's back-to-back plays, positive plays through the air.
It's saying 2nd and 26. I think
They haven't updated it yet.
Yeah, the Plum's been just Portage. We do a lot with Plum, being that
They're
we're
Mustangs
from
too.
that area. They are Mustangs as well, making it even. I probably said Plum tonight too, and I didn't even
They were
notice
just on High Top Sports Network.
They were indeed, but Portage just so gracious tonight, and we have been so grateful for their staff and the folks here. They've just done a terrific job and even getting that scoreboard corrected for us here. 2:08 left, 2nd and 10, as Jake mentioned, back to that original line of scrimmage, design quarterback run, and met immediately. Hard to see that number because a pile then converges on the scrambling quarterback. I'm going to say that was number 56 for Portage. That, of course, is Braden Orovitz, excuse me.
Yeah, we've said his name a few times in this broadcast. He's really been a difference maker on both sides of the ball on the line, laying down some good blocks and then blowing up plays.
And Bo Swartz, not a small guy, and Orowitz meeting him at the point of contact and allowing just a yard on the carry. It's actually 2 because that was 1 yard, actually. 3rd and 9, and another nice slant route brought in by who else but Lou Swartz. You know, we talked about Lou Swartz. What he's done for the Wolves is pretty much the same thing that we've seen on the other side of the ball for the Mustangs from Caden Clark. If Caden Clark was the MVP of the first quarter, then Lou Swartz is most certainly the MVP of this second quarter, Jake.
Yeah, just all over the second quarter. 2 touchdown passes here, 3 total.
Clock continuing to roll. Very spread out are the Wolves at the line of scrimmage. Again, not feet not set, but Swartz is going to throw this one over the head of Sharp. And that might have just been kind of a, move on and stop the clock kind of throw there by Swartz. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10, 1:05 left. The Wolves already with a 6-point lead, but looking to strike once more before they and the Mustangs head into the locker room. I will mention again, Portage will receive the opening kickoff in the second half. So I think a little bit of sense of urgency right now for the Wolves to try to score here before time expires. And another nice throw on the flat, and the strong Lou Swartz drags a tackler past the first down marker. What another nice run after catch for Lou Swartz on this drive.
Yeah, and you've seen it on the past 2 receptions by Lou Swartz, just getting met and then breaking a tackle and extending that play another 5 or 6 yards down the field.
Both teams with 2 timeouts, clock rolling, 50 seconds left. Bo Swartz steps up in the pocket, but throws in the direction of his own band.
I think that hit off of somebody's bass drum.
That was either a bass drum or a tuba.
It could have been a snare, too. It had a nice bounce off of it.
Yeah, it did actually have some great bounce off of it. So kind of a yeah,
That's the first time I've seen that. Now, what would have been very impressive is if it would have gotten lodged into a tuba.
that would have been amazing.
That would have been the best
If
thing
that
I've
happens,
ever
I'm going to
seen.
put the headset down and we're just gonna walk away. So 41 seconds left. Both teams again with 2 timeouts. Clock stopped after the incompletion there by Swartz. Another wide set. Nice throw out in the flat again to Stover, and Stover stopped before he could get out of bounds around the 25-yard line. So you got to imagine, yes, the Wolves will indeed call a timeout here with 32 seconds left. And again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Portage folks, I'm sure you are not as familiar with us as our friends from West Shamokin. We are so glad to be here, though, and so glad to be not just representing the Wolves, as we have done several times, but representing you here on High Top Sports Network. So to all of our new friends here in Portage, we got a chance to watch your great basketball team last year in the District 6 Championship, and now we have an opportunity to enjoy your wonderful facilities here at the football field in Portage, PA. So thank you out there, Portage friends, and of course our West Shamokin friends too.
Joe, we'd like to thank another great sponsor for this evening's broadcast, Phoenix Physical Therapy, Katanning and Royal Valley. Life is all about motion, so orthopedic injuries are they're just a part of life. Phoenix Physical Therapy, Royal Valley, and Katanning will help you recover, recharge, and rise to new heights after an injury by creating a program focused on you. Your life should be pain-free and filled with activities that you love, and with help from Phoenix, you can get there. Schedule 24/7 online at phoenixphysicaltherapy.com or call them today to make your appointment.
So after the timeout, the Wolves with a 3rd down and 7. We're going to try to get a score of the other game that matters to both of these teams, Juniata and I believe Conemaugh Valley, if I'm not mistaken. Swartz with plenty of time, similar to how he had in the early part of the first quarter. He's going to dance outside and have to throw again, and just not able to get those feet set was Bo Swartz. A heck of an arm, though, if you're able to get that kind of distance on a play that you're rolling out to your right like that. That's impressive, but it certainly does not help the accuracy. So now a 4th and 7, 22 seconds left, and the John McCullough will leave his offense out on the field to try to convert here and make the most of these remaining seconds of the first half. Jake DeLuca going to try to find us any kind of update on that game.
Yeah, so as of 15 minutes ago the Blue Jays lead over the Hornets 15-12.
Wow, an upset alert there. And brought down and sacked was Bo Swartz. So nothing doing on that play, and a great job by the Portage defense to clamp down here deep in their own territory and prevent the Wolves from scoring before the half. That will give them an opportunity to come out of the locker room, unless they can pull out a rabbit out of a hat here and score before the clock expires. 14 seconds left, but they will get the opening kickoff and have a chance to tie things up. But Jake, back to what you just said there, the Blue Jays of Conemaugh Valley, the number 7 seed, if I'm not mistaken, playing the number 1 seed and winning by a score of what you said 15 minutes ago it was?
Okay, so
Oh, please tell me the score didn't flip here and we just
Yep.
misinformation. Fake news.
misinformation.
Fake news.
But the Blue Jays did intercept the ball with 21 seconds left in the half. They cut the lead to 15-12, so only down 3 points.
Andrew Miko's going to try. That ball is forced out. Number 51 should have went for it. They're going to say incompletion, but I thought there was a chance that was a fumble. Didn't know if his arm was moving forward. They're going to call it an incompletion. Boy, oh boy, that was very close, but what didn't help the Wolves there was the young man that knocked that one away, number 51, Jonah Linhart, kind of just gave up on the play there. Luckily for him, they did immediately call it incomplete, but boy, oh boy, not sure if that arm was moving forward yet on Andrew Miko. Yeah, big story there. So what's the final score there? Or not final score, excuse me, but the most recent update on that score?
Yeah, it was 15-12 Hornets.
Okay, so the number 1 seeded Juniata Hornets Juniata Valley Hornets leading Conemaugh Valley by just 3. So the number 1 versus number 7. The winner of this game will, of course, move on to play the winner of that one. And what is unique about that situation, incomplete pass, just 1 second left on the clock. Getting a little bit of home cooking there. Where the, and some, a little bit friendly timing there, stopping one more play by the home clock operator. But what's interesting there, Jake, is if Conemaugh Valley could, in fact, pull off the upset, that would make the winner of this game, it would make them eligible, rather, to host the next round, the semifinal round. So if the Wolves would win here and Conemaugh Valley would play shocker against the number 1 seed, the Wolves would host a playoff game, and that would be coming off of their first ever playoff victory in program history. So I think a knee is taken there. That will bring us to zeros on the clock, and the score: the visiting West Shamokin Wolves 25, the Portage Mustangs 19, here in this District 6 Class A quarterfinal matchup on High Top Sports Network. We are going to step aside, as we always do at halftime. These events on Friday nights are about a lot more than just football. We're going to step aside so the fine young men and women of the marching bands can take the field and show you what they got. So without further ado, we will see you at the second half.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's halftime show. We invite you to step back into the 1950s with the Wolves Marching Band as we begin tonight's show with Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis. For our second selection, the band will play Carry On My Wayward Son from the rock supergroup Kansas. The band is under the direction of Mrs. Laura Schreier, assisted by Mr. Robert Ciprian and Mrs. Alexis Johnson. The band is student-led by our senior drum major, Grace Moore, and our junior drum major, Megan Cromer. We hope you enjoy tonight's show. Drum major, is your band ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the pride of the Stampede, the 2021-2022 Portage Mustang Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Addison Holyfield. Staff for this season includes Assistant Band Director Tim George, Guard Instructor Eileen Miller, and Majorette Instructor Ariel Miller. Field direction is under Executive Drum Major Isabella Bartoletti and Assisting Drum Major Grace Court. Band Front Captain Haley Schwartz and Co-Captain McKenna Young, and Drum Captain Brandon Ritchie. The band is proud to present music by the rock band Journey. Tonight's selection will include Separate Ways, followed by Open Arms featuring Guard and Majorettes, and a trumpet solo played by Bella Single, including with a mashup of Any Way You Want It, Lovin' Touchin' Squeezin', made famous by the Fox hit TV show Glee. Now please sit back, relax, and enjoy this year's halftime show. Drum majors, if you please.
Good evening once again, and welcome back to High Top Sports Network's coverage of the District 6 quarterfinals here, Jake. 44 points in that first half. Absolutely unbelievable. You got some stuffed pepper soup over there.
Yeah, Josh, the offense is not the only thing on fire in my mouth there. The stuffed pepper soup is very hot.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When we came up here to this press box, as we've said a couple of times on this broadcast, the Portage people have just been so welcoming to us. And I went over there and got some homemade chili prior to the game, and you're coming back with some homemade stuffed pepper soup.
Yeah, I had a whole smorgasbord up here. I had a hoagie, some pizza, some chili. Now I'm on some stuffed pepper soup. I'm a growing boy.
And I'm glad I'm back here, fellas. Thanks for holding down the fort. And I walked in at the perfect time. You talked about just the way in which we've been treated here tonight by this Portage staff. I was stopped on my way over to the concession stand just now, and by a couple folks here in the administration, really appreciative of our work, and we're certainly appreciative of them. They've been just such gracious hosts. So great point there, Josh, and shout out to Portage. Again, mentioned to them that they, of course, are leaving their current conference for the Heritage Conference. They will be conference mates with these Wolves next year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we could find a way to have a little bit more District 6 on our slate. Of course, not going to mention that other company that has prevented us from doing games this season, but we hope we can find a way around that and bring you more action as the winter months come upon us and basketball kicks off and other winter sports. So really, really happy about that. And one more quick note, I have a revision from an early statement I made in this broadcast. I mentioned that it gets confusing. There's a Josh, there's a Jake, there's a Joe, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention another Jay who is involved heavily with what we do, and that is the one and only Jesse Schreckengost, another great contributor to High Top Sports Network, a loyal fan, supporter, and does a lot of things for us that don't, as they say, doesn't show up on the stat sheet. So shout out to Jesse Schreckengost, the other Jay among the three here in the booth tonight.
I know that guy.
How do you know him?
He is my brother, my youngest brother, and he is just an all-around awesome guy. He painted our High Top Sports Network logo for us. It's up in the office. Jesse, glad you're watching, brother. I know you're always out there tuned in to High Top Sports Network, and we could not appreciate you more.
Absolutely. And another quick shout-out. I would like to thank Armstrong Principal Kirk Lorgan keeping us posted on a score that I think many people out there are trying to keep an eye on while they watch this one, and that, of course, is the Armstrong Riverhawks as they are in their second-round matchup against McKeesport this evening. Last check, it was a 28-14 score mid-third quarter in favor of McKeesport, and they had the ball at that time. That was, let me look here real quickly, 8:33. Might have just got another text. No, there's just small talk. But yeah, that was a couple minutes ago. So we'll hopefully have a more updated score of that Armstrong game. Of course, their star quarterback, Caden Olson, the junior, in that one. Hopefully we can get some more information. Riverhawks looking to advance and get some revenge on a regular season loss to McKeesport, a narrow defeat. And what better time to get that revenge than here in the postseason? As mentioned before we signed off at halftime, the Mustangs get the opening kickoff, and this, of course, is another nice return out to about the 30-yard line.
It's the usual suspect again.
Yep.
Clar with the return.
Yeah, you know that if it's a ball carrier for the Mustangs, there's a really good chance it's Caden Clar. And if it's Wes Shamokin and you see somebody streaking down the field and dragging tacklers with him, it's probably Lou Swartz. So those two have certainly had a night for their respective teams. And the Mustangs are certainly going to need the efforts of Mr. Caden Clar as they trail by 6. Opening possession of the second half. Dumped outside. Clar gets the catch. Cuts, makes one man miss. Drags 2 tacklers with him for about a pickup of 6 yards.
Yeah, good job by Bo Swartz staying with the tackle there, and Jacob Wadding also coming up with the assist on the play. But really a solid run on first down, sets him up for 2nd and 5. Well, they'll call it 2nd and 4.
So a 2nd and 4, and you like that pickup on first down. As we mentioned, you want to keep the 2nd and 3rd downs as short as possible, considering, especially for Portage, some long 2nd downs due to penalties. And another nice carry to the left side by number 37, John Wolford, the senior, able to move the sticks and extend this drive quickly after just 2 plays.
Yeah, Portage's offense moving with some tempo now, really quick to get back to the line.
Quick snap, tons of flags out on the field, and we'll just get rid of it. Does Andrew Miko. We'll see what the flags are coming in from every direction. Penalty is certainly a part of that first half, and the last thing, if you're Portage coming out of the locker room, is continuing that trend. So it was against Portage, and the penalty declined, and John McCullough, head coach of West Shamokin, with some faith in his defense there to decline yet another penalty.
Yeah, he's declined quite a few today, actually. I think that's 3.
And that's got to make you feel good if you're one of the guys on the defensive side of the ball, your coach putting so much faith in you to be able to decline that. 2nd and 10, handoff, runs into one of his own blockers and stalled there about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Colton Dunmeyer able to wrap up Wolford on that play for a short gain here, and much like the other times that Coach McCullough decided to decline the flag, not a very long gain on that 2nd down play.
Yeah, you have to like how that turned out for the Wolves. You decline that penalty and set up a 3rd and 8. 2 receivers set to the bottom. Miko in the gun, man in motion. Gonna roll out to his right. Gonna take off and run here. He's gonna have enough for a first down. He cuts it upfield, past the 30, 25, and taken down around the 15-yard line. What a nice scamper by the Mustang signal caller, now deep in West Shamokin territory.
Yeah, I really like that play from Andrew Miko there, keeping his eyes downfield, watching the receivers' routes develop before deciding to just go ahead and tuck it. And when he did decide to do that, it was decisive, and he had a long gainer on that play.
Another quick snap for Portage. Handoff up the middle for a decent gain. We'll say about 3 yards. Let's say the ball carrier there was number 37, the one and only John Wolford. So a good start to this 2nd half for Portage, able to get past that penalty that was declined and extend this drive, and they're chewing up a decent amount of clock here, 9:38 left. And Portage driving, set up at the 14-yard line of West Shamokin, fakes the handoff. Quarterback's going to roll out. Miko hits his target and quickly wrapped up and taken down there at the 10-yard line was, of course, who else? Caden Clark.
Yeah, Bo Swartz really has been in on the majority of the tackles here on this drive.
Still a nice gain, though, for Portage. We'll set up a 3rd and 3 now inside the 10-yard line. So a big down here for the home Mustangs as the clock is now under 9 minutes. A lot of bunch formations here. And the case is that again. Quick snap, handoff, diving up the middle, hit immediately. This one's going to be very close to the sticks. We're going to see where they spot this one. And they're going to say he's marked about a yard short, but right back up to the line. You got to imagine that Wolford's probably going to get a carry here, or Miko's going to dive forward like you see there. He's met. He's going to try to hand it off. He does, but met and stopped. I'm not sure if he's going to get it. This is going to be mighty close.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to bring out the chains for this one. West Shamokin just stopping Miko right in his tracks initially, and then that cheeky little handoff to the left side.
A dangerous play, but it might be why Portage was able to gain the first down. The The crew in stripes will stop the clock for the measurement, as you mentioned there, Jake. Again, a dicey play there by Miko. Looked like he was stacked up and somehow able to hand that ball backwards to his teammate, who then kind of pushed forward to make it a close call here. They're going to pull out that chain. It looks
that
like
looks short.
there's some decisiveness. No official call yet, and they're going to give it to Portage. Their players celebrating. The Wolves disagreeing, but all that matters is what the referees say. So with 8:20 left, a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line for Portage, looking to strike on their first possession of the second half and tie this one up. And again, it's only a 6-point lead, so the extra points and 2-point conversions by both clubs going to play a huge part in the outcome of this one as we hit the 8:12 mark of quarter number 3. Another tight formation, only one receiver far from the line. That's number 15, left side. Quarterback's going to roll the opposite way, try to spin out of a tackle. He does, throwing low and incomplete, but a nice job by Andrew Miko to escape the sack and get rid of it to avoid a loss of yardage. So a 2nd and 6 or a 2nd and goal for Portage here again on their opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, this close to the goal line, everything tightens up that much more. There's less field to cover. And as a result of that, Miko doing a good job there just getting the ball away on that last play.
So a big possession here for Portage. Receiver split to the bottom of your screen. That's, of course, Caden Fly. But going outside left and then met right past the, say, 5-yard line was Kennedy. Once again, Bo Swartz, not just doing it with his strong right arm, but with his speed from sideline to sideline to wrap up the ball carrier for a short gain. They're going to mark him at about the 4. That'll bring up a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line.
Yeah, and it looked like this Mustangs team had the outside sealed. Bo Swartz just kind of waiting for the running back to kind of get outside of those blocks before he just honed in.
Man in motion, gets it. That's number 25. He's going to dive for the end zone, and he's in untouched for the score. We're knotted up at 25. Able to scamper in there for the score was number 25, Ty Kennedy, the fullback. Gotta love the fullbacks.
Gotta love the fullbacks. All 25s, getting 25 points, 25 scoring for Portage.
So again, a big part of this game has been developing really since the start. The misses and sort of miscues on extra points. Portage will set up for an extra point. If it goes through, they will take a lead. It does indeed. And just like that, Portage marches down the field in their opening drive of the second half, punches it in, and makes the extra point to reclaim the lead, 26-25.
Yeah, 4 minutes and 39 seconds off the clock on that opening half drive for Portage. And they looked really good out there, marching the ball down the field, combination of some great runs, and Miko kind of orchestrating it all under center.
You know, guys, we've taken a time out here to thank all of our awesome sponsors for this evening's broadcast, but we would be remiss if we did not mention our veterans. And it's just not one day out of the year. It's not 2 days out of the year. It's every day out of the year that we are extremely appreciative, thankful, and humbled by the contributions of all of our men and women in the armed services. So happy Veterans Day out there to all who have served. And thank you for that service.
Josh, thank you so much for mentioning that. Something that we here at High Top are very, very passionate about, our service veterans and the sacrifice they make day in and day out, not just on the battlefield and the sacrifice that they make for their country, but even when they return home and the difficulties that lie there. And we certainly are so incredibly thankful for our servicemen and women. Without them, we are not able to cover this game. These players aren't able to go out and play and demonstrate their skill. They are the true heroes, And as Josh said, we are incredibly thankful for them, not just on Veterans Day, but every day for what they do for each and every one of us.
I've got a lot of family members in the armed services, Joe, so it's extra special to me today out here, even though I've never served. Several family and friends have, and I am thankful for them every single day.
So Tubbs will kick it off. The Wolves will have their first drive of the second half, camping under this, and now coming near side, finding a block, but there is going to be a flag, and West Shamokin will be pinned deep in their territory as a result, wiping out what was a pretty nice return there by number 6, Christian Sharp. So the Wolves not helping themselves, especially coming off of an impressive drive by Portage to start things here in the second half. They will have a lot of field to go if they want to reclaim this lead. They're going to put the ball, they're going to spot it rather, at the, oh man.
I believe it's going to be the 5.
They're going to say the 7-yard line. So not great starting position for the Wolves once again. We talked about it several times throughout this broadcast that Portage certainly winning the starting field position game here tonight. And that trend continues with the Wolves starting at their own 7-yard line. There's a quarterback keeper lunging forward. Getting out to about the 10-yard line is Bo Swartz. So a decent pickup on first down for the Wolves signal caller, Bo Swartz.
Yeah, and that just gives Bo Swartz more room to move around. You know, a short gain, but being on your own 10-yard line sure beats starting at your 7. So just a couple extra yards of room there on that first down play, and now they can open up the playbook a little more.
So Swartz is going to sling this one deep, a lot of arm behind it, but way overthrown, closer to the defensive back than the intended target. Lou Swartz getting a hand on that was number, I believe, is that number 12, Jake?
No, it was Gavin Gauss.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, Gavin Gauss with good coverage there, kind of running ahead of the intended target and getting a hand on it. But Bo Swartz throwing off his back foot, still getting a lot on that, but just kind of throwing it up there, hoping that his brother, who's made a couple spectacular catches here thus far, could come in with one more. Instead, the Wolves are faced with a 3rd and 7 with 6:36 left in quarter number 3. Here's Swartz. He's going to take this one. He's going to throw. Nice throw under pressure. Good enough for a first down. Finds Lou Swartz this time. He's tackled at the 20, but a great job under duress by Bo Swartz, able to pick up the first down and extend this drive, just what the Wolves needed as a sort of a start of a response after the Portage drive to begin this half.
Yeah, and that reception not only showing off the strength of Lou Swartz, able to stay on his feet, but also the football IQ, extending that arm out with the ball and pushing it forward a couple yards, knowing exactly where that first down marker is.
Swartz is going to throw again. A tight window there, putting it only where his receiver could get it. A little shaken up on the play was number 8, Camden Eddy, but a pretty great throw considering the size of that window by Bo Swartz. Just out of the reach of Eddy. Well, it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think he's just frustrated with himself there. Had the ball in his hands, but it just slipped out.
So 2nd and long, 4 receivers, 1 running back to Swartz's right, man in motion. And this is a quarterback keeper design run, and not much doing there. Maybe a gain of 2 by Swartz. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 8. Clock continues to tick. 5:47 left, and we kind of remarked off the air, gentlemen, that the first half, each quarter took about 45 minutes. This one rolling right along as we head towards the 5-minute mark here in quarter number 3.
Well, completely different ball game. Sorry about that, Jake. Completely different ball game here in the second half. These teams ground and pound right now. We kind of expected that out of the gate. Right now, running the ball, both of these squads.
Big 3rd down for the Wolves, and met and brought down the first man to reach Swartz was number 24, my favorite number, of course. Gotta mention it. Isaac Deal, the running back outside linebacker, the senior making his presence felt and bringing down Bo Swartz for a loss. The Wolves will be forced to punt, so a picture-perfect start for Portage to begin the second half.
Just a huge play there on third down, and the last time West Shamokin had to punt this close to their own end zone, it went over the head of Bo Swartz and was recovered in the end zone by the Mustangs for a touchdown.
Great call there, Jake, and Wolves hoping that is not the case. That was a little bit of a high snap, though. Still Swartz, the athletic quarterback, able to really get a good leg behind this, but an unfriendly bounce for the Wolves. It's going to kind of kick 2 yards backwards and rest at the Wolves' 48-yard line. So the Wolves started from their own 6-yard line on the last drive. And here you go, Portage with excellent field position once again. They'll start at West Shamokin's 47-yard line.
Yeah, and if you're the Wolves, that bounce is brutal. That was about 40 yards of hang time, or 40 yards in the air from Bo Swartz. Could have rolled for a lot further.
So the second drive of the second half for Portage. They lead by 1. Man in motion. He'll get it. That's number 33. He's going to break a tackle. He's going to try to get to the sideline. The only man there is Bo Swartz. He'll wrap him up and bring him down, I believe, in the end zone. What a nice scamper by number 33. That, of course, is Orrin Heidler, the senior.
Yeah, great pair of blocks by the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen for Portage and the right tackle there to seal that. And like you said, Orrin Heidler just off to the races there. Nearly went untouched, broke one tackle, and Bo Swartz nearly tackled him at the 1-yard line, but Heidler able to drag him in for the touchdown.
Joe, I'll tell you what, you said picture-perfect start for Portage in this second half. It couldn't get much better for these Mustangs.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't imagine what could go their way more so than the way things have started. Extra point up and hits the upright and in. So 2 straight extra points, and again, those are going to loom large. We talked about the difficulties the Wolves have faced going for 2 and an extra point, and that right there makes this an 8-point game. So the Wolves, with their backs now against the wall a little bit, after Portage able to score effectively on their first 2 drives of the second half. And now, we talked about the Wolves. They 0 for 2 so far, going for 2. They're going to tie this one up. They're going to need that 2-point conversion on the next touchdown score. Josh?
Joe, while we have a minute right here, after that Mustangs touchdown, we'd like to thank another great sponsor here on High Top Sports Network, UFP Parker LLC. UFP Parker LLC is an essential business with essential people like you. UFP Parker LLC's products are key to everyday life and wide-ranging, including treated lumber, trusses, and building components, concrete forming materials, and industrial packaging. Manufacturing facilities located in Parker, Emlenton, and Clarion. They are currently hiring for several skill levels, from general laborers to assemblers and forklift operators. To find a career you can build upon, visit ufpi.com/careers. And for more information, you can also call or text 814-316-1033. That's UFP Parker LLC.
So the Wolves looking for a response with 4:29 left in the third quarter. Back deep is Stover and Sharp for West Shamokin. This one's going to bounce in front of Sharp. He's going to gather it in, cut towards the middle of the field, look to follow his fellow deep man, and then be brought down around the 30-yard line. And if you're West Shamokin, you'll gladly take that after your starting field position on the last drive.
Yeah, just bringing it back to that extra point. It looked like it bounced back out.
It didn't. I can get why it looked that way, because the rotation of the ball was severely changed. But, doesn't matter how close it is. As long as it goes through the 2 pipes, it is good. And now, just like that, Portage finding some success in the extra point game, something that eluded them, something that still seems to be eluding the Wolves. Here's a handoff, or fake handoff. It was a run or an option play there that Bo Swartz decides to keep himself, and he gets it out to about the 33-yard line, we'll say, a pickup of about 3.
Yeah, and that's the 3rd straight quarterback keeper for West Shamokin on first down. Just interesting seeing them go back to that play 3 straight times on the first.
And it especially is because we saw the Wolves, when they were in control, really going to the air early and often, and now trailing, using that run game a little bit more specifically on the legs of quarterback Bo Swartz. That one, a nice throw there on the outside, a nice route, and a perfectly thrown ball to the wide receiver, number 20, Owen Stover. Stover, who threw a really nice block on that kick return. He was a deep man. He kind of backed off and let his fellow deep man, Christian Sharp, take it and threw a nice block. And now he picks up gets a nice catch there that moves the sticks. So fresh set of downs, 3:25 left. The Wolves have 4 receivers. Running back to Swartz's right. He's going to stay back and block. What a throw there by Bo Swartz. About a 15-yard strike, hitting Lou Swartz in stride. So the Swartz to Swartz connection coming up big on that play. A pickup of about 16.
Yeah, great throw, great catch. Bo Swartz throwing it just where only Lou Swartz could get it there. Low and away from the defender, and the sticks move.
So the Wolves know that time is of the essence, yet there's still another quarter. They need to use every possible second they can. They trail by 8. Swartz bumps into his own lineman. He's going to try to throw this. Instead, he's going to tuck it, run, get out of bounds, and a little bit of a late hit. It always kind of looks a little late here because the sidelines are so shallow, but Swartz able to kind of turn, to be redundant, I've used this term so many times, but turn nothing into something. But that something ends up being about a 5-yard gain, so you'll take that on a first down. They're actually going to say 4, bringing up a 2nd and 6.
Yeah, this is a huge drive for West Shamokin. Portage coming out of the gates hot, scoring on their first 2 offensive possessions. West Shamokin held a 6-point lead going into the second half.
Very spread formation once again for the Wolves. 2 men high atop this screen. That's where Swartz is looking. Somebody's down at his ankles. I don't know if that's going to be a hold or what. Swartz just showing off the gun. That was about a 50-yard throw by Bo Swartz. Not sure if the Portage player was going low on Swartz. That might be the call, but nope. Instead, it is going to go against the Wolves. So not a timely penalty there against West Shamokin. And Bo Swartz quite lucky there as well. Jake hit kind of low, and the flag almost insult to injury. And that will move the Wolves back to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, you mentioned Bo Swartz showing off the arm strength there, even at 50
Flat-footed.
yards. It looked like it was off of 1 foot. He had one guy around his ankle.
Josh, were you saying that?
No, I was saying it was off his back foot.
Wow.
I mean, he just turned it loose right there and showed off the cannon. We've seen him do it in center field for the Wolves.
Well, we absolutely did this past spring. I saw him throw out somebody from literally the deepest part of center field on a one-hopper home. It was probably one of the more impressive throws I've seen in a high school baseball game. He's under pressure. Eludes another tackler. Bo Swartz doing the unbelievable. Getting that ball just short of the 50-yard line, but talk about the fight and Bo Swartz on that one.
He broke not only 1 sack, not 2, but 3 potential tackles on that play. Wow.
Unfortunately, that didn't really help the Wolves' cause because they still have a 3rd and very long as we tick closer to the 2-minute mark here in quarter number 3. 4 receivers will be at Swartz's disposal. Running back to his right, formation we've seen quite often here tonight. Wolves needing a play right now more so than ever. They want to prevent Portage from building any more momentum. And Lou Swartz maybe looking downfield and feeling the pressure of the Portage defense, kind of looked away, and as a result, off his hands and incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and 17.
Yeah, I mentioned how big that drive was offensively, but now the onus goes on the Wolves' defense to hold this Portage offense that has really been clicking on all cylinders to start this second half.
So the Wolves in punt formation. 2 men deep, camped around the Portage 20-yard line. The usual suspects, number 11 and number 15. And this is going to be brought in and taken to the sideline, breaking 1 tackle, and then hit and out of bounds after a pretty solid return to the 35-yard line is, once again, Caden Clark.
Yeah, about an extra 8 or 9 yards on the return there. Sets up the offense once again with some pretty good field position. Like you said, the story has been throughout this game that Portage has had far more favorable field position than West Shamokin.
Absolutely, Jake. And I would love to know, and again, we are so busy up here, 3 guys up here trying to do a million different things. We don't get to really put down as many stats as we would like, but I'd love to know where the worst starting position for Portage tonight has been. I can't remember a time that's been too much deeper than the 20-yard line. I believe 25 is what I remember. Looks like this might be a ball start. It is indeed, so a huge break for the Wolves. That'll move Portage further back into their own territory. And a 1st and 15 awaits.
Joe, while we have a chance here, we'd like to thank another great sponsor for this evening's event, Avice, Roll Valley.
What else can you say?
That's it.
What else can you say?
That's all I need to say.
Like, I'm not just saying this. Jake's not just saying this. Josh just isn't saying this. It's one of our favorite places on the planet. Another end around. Good blocking once again out in front. A flag. This guy and his cannon.
Yeah, the back judge just flinging that one. Let's see. He was standing at the 40. That flag is laying.
And another late
at
flag
the
thrown in there
35.
too, Jake.
So that one traveled about 20,
All right.
25 yards.
Can I ask you a serious question? Stronger arm, that gentleman or Bo Swartz?
Well, see, now the flag is a lot more airy than a football, you know.
Right, if that guy had a heavy football in his hand, that baby was flying. He's probably got a couple years on me, and I don't know if I can throw it that far. I like to pride myself in thinking I still got a little something left in the right arm. This is going to go once again against the Mustangs, so the Wolves, again, catching a huge break in a quarter right now that is just not going their way. 1:26 left. Portage putting 2 scores on the board, 14 points total, and the Wolves being shut out thus far over the first 10.5 minutes here of quarter number 3. So I believe they're going to say a 1st and 21. We've seen some really strange yardages tonight on downs. We saw a 2nd and 46, and now a 1st and 21. Quarterback's going to roll out, stop, throw. Nice throw right on the dot to the intended target, number 15, Gavin Gauss, but wrapped up immediately by West Shamokin's Owen Stover. That'll bring up a 2nd and about 10. So getting back to the original line of scrimmage, or darn near close to it, was quarterback Andrew Miko. So that's really all you can ask for, getting back to that original line of scrimmage on 2nd down as we are under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter.
And that play clock ticking down. Portage hurrying up to the line here. They've gotten 1 delay a game call already.
Handoff coming near side. That's number 33, but tackled from behind and brought down about around the 40-yard line, just short of it, was number 33, Orrin Heidler. Does he get the award for best name tonight?
It's up there, but, you know, I'm still partial to my guy, Dylan Tubbs.
You just like Tubbs. We know a ton of Dylans.
Yeah.
But Orrin and then Heidler?
That is, yeah. I mean, I can't say that I disagree with you. There's a lot of great names in this contest today.
Josh, your thoughts?
I like Tubbs. I like Heidler. I like them all.
So another play will be run by Portage. Heavy pressure, thrown across, a little bit behind the target, but brought in. But still, it looks like a bit short of the 1st down. That'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter. And wouldn't you know it, Caden Clark, the receiver, who bring that ball about, looks like almost a football length short of a 1st down.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really interesting decision here, fellas. The offense has been clicking for Portage here. A 1st down would allow them to take a nice portion of clock off here in the 4th quarter. At the same time, you're up a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Is it worth the risk? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
And certainly this 2nd half has been squarely in favor of Portage. And Josh, we saw a very dynamic West Shamokin team that was able to kind of battle through some mistakes, but kind of come out ahead, as you saw. What has really been the difference here in the 2nd half thus far that you've noticed as being, significantly different than what you saw in the 1st?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's winning a quarter at a time right there, and Portage did just that. Won the quarter and did it in dominant fashion. putting up 2 touchdowns, as Jake said, made the extra points, which was a struggle in the first half. I don't think you could play a better quarter than what Portage did in that third.
So they will flip the field now.
And I almost knocked the camera out the window.
Yes, you were very enthusiastic about the performance in the third.
Playoff football, baby.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this.
This might be the biggest play of the ball game. A 4th and 1. Be the first play of the fourth quarter. And this high-powered and certainly clicking in all cylinders now, Portage offense with a chance maybe to take it one step closer to icing this one and at least running some more clock off and giving themselves a even better opportunity to pull this one out. They, of course, are the higher-seeded team, number 4, versus the number 5 West Shamokin Wolves. Quick handoff, and that's plenty by number 33, Orrin Heidler.
And so they decide to keep the offense out there, and it turns out to be the right decision.
So this drive will continue, and we saw to start the third quarter how Portage was able to milk clock, and you know that's what their intention is going to be here now as we begin the fourth quarter. After you pick up that first down, the clock's already rolling. Man in motion. He gets the handoff. He's got to cut it out wide. This play continuing to work. They're putting these men in motion. It's like a Matt Canada offense. Brings it out about a yard short of the first down. Again, this, Jake, you mentioned it seemed like at times that the West Shamokin's defense was starting to catch on to it, but here as we've progressed through this second half, it seems that they found the success with these men in motion, have the Mustangs. That's been a big reason why they've been able to sustain these long and lengthy drives.
There's another one.
And that is, who else but Caden Clark, who is brought down, say just past the 45-yard line, say the 43, actually I'm going to say about 42, so a nice pickup there by the standout receiver for Portage, Caden Clark.
First down, Mustang.
That's a first down, so another huge moving of the chains for Portage here as we inch closer and closer to the end of this one. If you're West Shamokin, you're going to need a big play here because another score is going to be really hard to come back from, especially with how we've seen Portage control the time of possession here so far. Another double handoff. Clark ends up giving it back to Orrin Heidler, who is met. So a nice stop there on first down. Might have been even a loss of 1. Maybe trying to get too cute there. Were the Mustangs doing the double reverse. It was, of course, Caden Clark receiving the handoff from his signal caller, who then gave it to Orrin Heidler, but the Wolves all over it. And we are now under 10 minutes. Play clock at 11 seconds. Be very surprised to see Portage go to the air here at any point unless they have to. Rolling out is the quarterback. Shows you how much I know. He's going to run, though. He's going to have some room, and he scoots out of bounds just past the 40-yard line to about the 38.
Yeah, a little naked bootleg there. Nobody really on that far sideline. Just a design quarterback run, trying to get him open in some space on that far sideline. A good job in pursuit, though, that time by Derek Blos to kind of limit the gain on the play.
And great to see Derek Blos having a nice game. We saw him be taken down right around where the football lies right now. Didn't look great for a period of time, and we've been able to call his name a few times since re-entering, so that's a great sign and good for that young man. They're going to need him here as Portage faces a 3rd down and 6. Handoff to the left, plenty of room, and now those big boys up front for Portage showing their will. And that one's going to be, once again, about maybe a yard, half yard short. Portage finding themselves in a similar situation here with about a 4th and 1. Quickly back to the line is Portage. Expect a handoff here, probably to number 37, John Wolford. No, it's a fumble. It's on the ground. This might be the break the Wolves are looking for. They're pointing in their direction, and the referees will as well. The Wolves coming up with a crucial turnover there at the 9:02 mark. as Portage seemed to be driving once again. The fumble on the handoff, I do believe, and the Wolves able to pounce on it. And wouldn't you know it, some of the best starting field position that the Wolves have had all night. They will set up shop at their own 34-yard line. And that is where Bo Swartz will look to begin his comeback bid here as his team trails by 8. Just throw down the sideline. This is going to go to Lou Swartz. A little bit of contact. They're going to say accidental.
Yeah, going back to that fumble play, though, that was obviously massive for West Shamokin. Portage driving for a long time. That drive about 7 minutes until before that ball popped out. And just the break West Shamokin needed. Portage looked like they were in control, just marching that ball down the field through a power running attack. But, you know, you can only flip so many reverses before one maybe squirts between your hands.
Quick out, nice spin there by Lou Swartz, and he'll pick up a couple. But again, another third and somewhat long. Actually, no, it was a decent pickup there by Lou. I'm going to give him about 4, so it'll set up a 3rd and 6. But, man, oh man, it feels like every time we're talking about West Shamokin on 3rd down, it's a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or longer. Not like what we've seen from Portage, where they've had so many 4th and shorts and 3rd and shorts. And that's just been a credit to what they were able to do on 1st and 2nd down, that being the Mustangs. Now the Wolves trying to have some magic on the 3rd down themselves. Swartz going to roll out to his right, going to throw across his body into traffic, and a catch, bobbled, but brought in. Man, oh man.
Portage still trying to rip that ball out, but man, what a play there by Stover. Had the catch initially and just bobbled it for a second while he was on the ground, able to bring it back in before Portage could hop on top of it.
And I'm not sure Stover's had a bigger catch all year. That one huge. Helps the Wolves get into Portage territory. Just under 8 minutes to go. And the Wolves desperately needing a touchdown. Quarterback design run up the gut. About a gain of 3, where Bo Swartz is brought down at about the 38-yard line. Again, the clock just rolling. And Jake, to your point a couple moments ago, you said about how the drive by Portage ate up about 7 minutes, and that's really been a part of their recipe for success throughout the second half. Now the Wolves, it's going to be really tough for them. They're not really showing as much urgency at the line as we saw even in the first half. Maybe just more concerned with getting the right play call in. 7 seconds on the play clock. Swartz looks, feels the pressure, evades a tackler. He's going to roll out, throw on the run again. Here's a jump ball, a little bit of hand jousting, but bringing it down. Oh, and losing it as he went to the ground was, I believe, number, that was Eddie, yes. Number 8.
Yeah, just another jump ball there, and it looked for a hot minute that Camden Eddy came down with that touchdown pass, but it must have touched the grass in between there. Rolled incomplete.
His back was to us, so we didn't really get to see it be jarred loose. But going back to that, Portage getting a little lucky. There was some hand jousting there and a little bit of a push off by the defensive back from Portage. They get out of that. Clock does luckily stop here, but again, another 3rd down and 8 for the Wolves. Swartz going to go deep again, looking to the far sideline. There's a flag and maybe a makeup call. Lou Swartz looking around for a flag, not realizing it's already on the turf. So again, Lou Swartz doing his best. Chase Claypool able to draw that flag far down the field, and a big play there for the Wolves by their number 1 target, Lou Swartz. Not always about bringing it in, but sometimes just drawing the penalty is just as useful for your club.
Yeah, that'll move the sticks. Automatic 1st down.
Yeah, ball spotted at the 24, 6:50 left. Quarter number 4 of this District 6 Class A quarterfinal. Not sure of what's going on between Conemaugh Valley and Juniata Valley, but the winner of this one will face the winner of that one. Tightly contested game at last glance when we saw the score. I think it was 15-12, narrowly leading where was Juniata. Here's Swartz. He's going to run. He's going to have some room, and he's going to get out of bounds. Smart play at about the 10-yard line. Not only is a nice pickup, but he also stops the clock, not wasting too much time for the solid gainer that will also move the chains. Mr. DeLuca, it looked like you found something.
Yes. So as of 15 minutes ago, Juniata Valley up 29-12 over Conemaugh Valley. So they've really secured that game in a big way.
Yeah, since we last saw that score, looks like Conemaugh Valley's been shut out. It was 15-12. Here's another fade route, and what another nice catch. Believe this is a catch. We got to wait for the signal.
It looks to be discussion.
And a touchdown is the call. Can't see the number, but I can only guess based on the way that player went up for it that's Lou Swartz.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a process of elimination here, and Lou Swartz, I believe, got that ball. That's touchdown reception number 4 on the day today.
And it is indeed Lou Swartz, who came up a little gimpy now, a little bit of a limp after having to make yet another combat catch. But just by the looks of it, you could tell these two young men have thrown footballs back and forth plenty of times. You know that Bo knows where Lou likes it. It seems to be kind of up high where he can kind of use those big mitts of his and bring it in. So now the 2-point conversion, very important, 6:37 left. If the Wolves can punch it in, it'll tie this one up. The dart a little bit behind Stover, who dropped it. It was behind him, but very much playable. And boy, oh boy, that one could loom large as the Wolves now trail by 2.
Yeah, the pass a little behind him, but Stover able to turn around and face that ball. I know he's wishing that he would have brought that one in, but a little interesting tidbit here. So Lou Swartz with 4 receiving touchdowns here tonight. Throughout the regular season, he scored 7. So already 50% of the amount of touchdowns Lou Swartz scored receiving in the regular season, he's already got 4.
Yeah, Lou Swartz looking like a man amongst boys. We said it early on in this game, and the trend has continued. The 2 standout pass catchers for both teams having a big night. Lou Swartz, as mentioned, for West Shamokin, and as for the Portage sideline, Caden Clark having a night of his own. The 6'1", 180-pound target for Portage, playing a pivotal role just as his aforementioned counterpart on the West Shamokin sideline. So again, I said it early on, and I sure hope it hasn't been a jinx and played a part in this. I don't believe in superstitions, but these extra points and the field goal kicking woes certainly rearing their head here now. Wolves were forced to go for 2. Unable to bring in the catch was Stover, and as a result, the Wolves will continue to trail these Mustangs with just 6:37 left in the fourth quarter. Excuse me.
Yeah, and watch out for a potential onside kick here. You know, the last time Portage had the ball, I mentioned that they drove it down the field for about a 7-minute drive.
Let me step in real fast here. Notice that it is not Lou Swartz kicking off. We saw him kind of get up gimpy, and as a result, here's a little bit of a squib kick. This by number 7, Ezra Osterling. But don't know if that was a design based on the kind of kick that the Wolves wanted to execute there, or if Lou Swartz is a little hobbled here right now. Something to watch for. I do see Lou making his way out to the field, so a good sign for West Shamokin, but a very pivotal drive upcoming here. Can Portage ice this one and create a little more separation, or can the Wolves have their biggest defensive stand of the evening at the most important time? We shall see.
Hey, Joe, while we have a minute before this drive gets underway, we'd like to thank AE Rican Welding.
Oh, man.
One of our fantastic sponsors for this evening's broadcast.
Nice fake slant thrown out. A nice play design there by Portage. Gets them out to close to the first down marker. They're going to mark him down at the 44-yard line. So they're going to say he is short. But if you're West Shamokin, you almost hope that you wish he would pick that up, because the clock continues to roll. They're just a yard away on second down. And that could actually end up hurting them as far as the clock goes. Unless, of course, the Wolves can stand tall here and prevent the gain of 1. Unfamiliar set here for Portage. Man in motion. Not going to receive this. A lot of receivers surprised that Portage is going to go to the air. Of course, they're not. They're going to open up space by running the pass play and scampering out of bounds at the West Shamokin 44 was Andrew Miko.
Yeah, they stopped the clock there, so that benefits West Shamokin. But so far here to start this drive, Portage just getting it done on the ground game. That's really been the story of this second half.
West Shamokin was the benefactor on the last Portage drive of a forced fumble, more of a botched handoff that they were able to pounce on top of and then turn into 6 points. Can the Wolves, do they have one more big defensive play in them? They need it now more than ever as Portage has entered West Shamokin territory. Here's a sweep, not a lot of room. Trying to cut back is Clar, but a nice job by West Shamokin's defense to bring up a 2nd and long, just what they needed here as we hit the 5:30 mark of this District 6 Class A quarterfinal matchup between the number 4 seed Portage Mustangs and the number 5 seed West Shamokin Wolves. I want to remind you quickly that make sure you log on to HighTopSportsNetwork.com, like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Every like and follow helps us immensely, so make sure you do that. And also, while you're at our website, HighTopSportsNetwork.com, find that little green button. It says donate. Feel free to contribute whatever you feel is necessary. Feeling the pressure, thrown up, and guess who comes up with it? Stover, who dropped the 2-point conversion, comes up with a huge interception. He's going to try to cut it back to the opposite side of the field. He's got some blockers out in front, one of which is Blue Swartz, and he's doing an excellent job of leading the way. And Stover will make it down to the 20-yard line of Portage.
Wow, you said that West Shamokin needed to have their biggest defensive stand of the night, and that's exactly what Stover did, able to get the interception. You mentioned him dropping that 2-point conversion, but I'd say he made up for it big time, and shout out to Lou Swartz laying down that lead block, pretty much blocking his guy 10 yards down the field before finishing it off with a pancake.
All great points there, Jake. And the one thing, I'm sure there are several happy people on that opposite sideline for West Shamokin, but none happier than Owen Stover. You saw his reaction after dropping that 2-point conversion. Yes, of course, it was behind him, but certainly a catchable ball. And he is probably feeling very exonerated after that and helping his team not only get the turnover, but also start with some wonderful field position. Here's Swartz. He's got a ton of time. He's going to roll out to his right, throwing on the run again on a dart out to the 15-yard line. That is number 6, Kristen Sharp, coming up with a big reception there. They're going to say he was out of bounds, I do believe, unless they're going to, yep. And the clock will stop, so.
Yeah, now if you're West Shamokin, before the clock was your enemy as Portage was driving down the field. Now the Wolves can take their time on this possession, really milk that play clock whenever they have it rolling, whenever they have the game clock rolling, because a touchdown here would put them up at least 4.
Wolves with their familiar 2 receivers at the top, 2 at the bottom. Running back flanked to Swartz's right. He's going to help stand in and block. Throwing it outside to Stover and off his mitts again near the line of scrimmage. Bring up a 3rd down and 3 for West Shamokin. We keep talking about it seems like every play is the biggest of the game, and as the game progresses, it's like the next play is the biggest play, and certainly that's the feel here right now on yet another 3rd down for West Shamokin. 4:23 left on the clock. Formation identical to a play ago. Swartz is going to keep this one. No push from the line. He's going to be well short. Give credit to the Portage interior there. Able to clog things up and nowhere for Bo Swartz to go. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe a half yard. Who knows? But nevertheless, a 4th down and 3. Clock rolling. About to hit the 4-minute mark. Swartz and teammates look to the sideline. And I'll say it once more. Maybe the most important play of the game upcoming, certainly for the Wolves. Jake?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I didn't see him, like you said, get more of a push from that offensive line. Or Jacob Wadding, I'm surprised he didn't come behind Lou or Bo to kind of stabilize him. Speaking of Lou, that one dropped.
And another decent throw. Could have maybe been just a little bit out in front of Stover. Not afraid to go back to the kid after the ball hit off his hands on that second down play. But I think my biggest question there was you had so much of the coverage and the defense drop deep, almost playing prevent, and it looked like Swartz would have had an opportunity, maybe scamper right up the middle, almost right off guard. The line was very spread out. It looked like there was a gap there, but instead of trying to run for the 4 yards, instead Swartz tries to put it in for 6, and instead it's a turnover on down. So 3:39 left. Portage leads by 2. West Shamokin, nice stop on first down. Bring up about a 2nd and 9. So we talked about how Portage has had some nice second down yardages. We've seen a 2nd and usually about a 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. West Shamokin once again, and they've done this here in the latter portion of the 4th quarter, setting up a 2nd and long. Could be very important for this Wolves team as the clock continues to roll. And what has already been a ball control second half for Portage. No hurry. Play clock down to 6. Man in motion. He's not going to get it. Instead, the back man will. Wrapped up initially at his feet, but a couple Wolves then come in for to wrap up the ball carrier, who is down. Not a welcome sight. We've been pretty free of injuries here tonight, and certainly only one I can remember for West Shamokin. This is the first for Portage, and not a player that they want to see down for any prolonged period of time. That is, I believe, number 37, Jake?
Yeah, that's John Wolford, one of the captains of this team.
So while John is tended to on the field by the Portage staff, we will take a quick break. So for Jacob DeLuca, Joshua Schreckengost, and Joseph Rhodes, we'll all be back here in a jiff. Stay tuned for more on High Top Sports Network.
Protecting the things you love and how you do so is among the most important decisions you'll ever have to make. TGIF Solutions can provide you with the peace of mind by supplying answers to all of your insurance needs, whether it be home, auto, business, life, or farm coverage. Contact the team at the Shellhammer Atwood Agency today in West Katanning to be sure that you, your loved ones, and the things that matter most stay safe when it matters the most. TGIF Solutions, insurance for what matters.
And welcome back to High Top Sports Network. The Portage player still being attended to. Looks like they're stretching him out. That again is number 37. John Wolford. Looks like they're stretching him out a little bit. Hopefully just a cramp. Looks like they are kind of attending to his calves, so that is a good sign. He's going to be helped up. So another great sign there. We mentioned it earlier when we saw West Shamokin's Derek Blos down for a period of time, that you want the best out there, and every possible player that should be in the lineup out there for a game like this. These kids work so hard all season long to play in a game like this, and you want to make sure, or you would hope, that everyone is able to carry on in this one. So it does appear that Wolford will be okay, probably just a little bit of a cramp, just kind of flexing that calf. And that is a good sign for Portage, not just in this game, but if they can escape here the next 2 minutes and 49 seconds and move on to the semifinals, he's certainly someone you want as close to 100% as possible.
Yeah, coming up here, though, Joe, a big-time 3rd down. Obviously, Portage not in 4-down territory here, backed up deep in their own territory. West Shamokin still with all 3 of their timeouts. So, 2-minute drill, 3 timeouts. That offense is clicked at times, definitely more so in the first half than the second half. I'd say that's fair. But, definitely showed signs of life on that last possession, did the West Shamokin offense. But right now, we keep saying it, Joe, like a broken record, the biggest play on defense all night.
A little bit of a boo from the crowd. I don't know what was said over the PA system. Maybe it was a score of a rival or something, but not taken kindly by the people here dressed in Kelly green. A great play call there. Fading to his right, wide open on the other side. He's got some more sideline. Looks like he stepped out of bounds, and on top of it was the ref. Give him credit. But man, oh man, that might be a backbreaker for West Shamokin, as another great play design by Portage. We've seen them in some tough spots and some tough downs, come up with some tricky play calls. And that, again, was another one, kind of the quarterback rolling to his right, everything on the left side of the field just sort of opening up and throwing it back over, and a significant pickup to the 36-yard line. Referees are going to signal something. I think a clock adjustment, I do believe. Yes, it is. They're going to change it from 2:41 to 2:48. So West Shamokin benefiting there with 7 extra seconds tacked onto the clock. But Jake, you mentioned it. West Shamokin now with just 2 timeouts left. They're going to be very conservative in how they use these. And again, I think a first down here could very well do it, barring any kind of insane turnover or change of possession. And another nice job there. Lou Swartz breaking through some tough blocks to somehow bring down the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage. And John McCullough will call his second timeout with 2:40 left here in quarter number 4.
Yeah, really quickly, taking it back to that third down conversion. You just didn't think that Portage was going to throw the ball there. I mean, I didn't think it. The Wolves defense didn't think it. But Miko able to find just a wide open Ty Kennedy there, and he gets the job done, getting them a first down. And I mean, West Shamokin now, they go from having 3 timeouts, getting the ball back on offense, and really having some time to work with, to now they're going to have to burn all 3 of their timeouts, hope the defense holds here and forces a 4th down on this very possession right now before they move the chains again. So, really flipping the script was Portage on that 3rd down, and now West Shamokin really playing with their backs against the wall.
Yeah, and again, we have to credit Portage not only for some really great play calls on downs that were very significant, but their defense, especially in West Shamokin's last offensive possession, coming up with some big stops, getting that great penetration you saw on that quarterback keeper by Bo Swartz. He tried to run that kind of right off his left guard and was stuffed because of the penetration from the Mustangs on that side. They really have stepped up their defense and have come up big on certain plays when they needed it the most. And so, we could talk about, maybe West Shamokin not executing as well as they would like, dropping some balls and things of the sort, but you also, on the flip side, have to give credit to Portage, who have been advantageous and have taken advantage of the opportunities they've been given. Here's a scramble and a big tackle near the sideline, a big hit by number 40 of West Shamokin. That, of course, was Jacob Wadding with a big hit on the quarterback, Andrew Miko. Not a huge gain either, so great closing speed there by Wadding to bring up a 3rd down and 7. And I think they're going to say he was out of bounds, so a fortunate thing there for the Wolves. That allows them to keep one of the timeouts in their pocket with the clock stopped at 2:31 on a 3rd down and 8. And dare I say it again, gentlemen, this might be the biggest play of the game.
Wadding laying the wood on that.
Very
really
close
a
to
big
the
hit.
sideline, but you like to see that. Another double reverse, and this is going to be stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. And a timeout called immediately on the far sideline by John McCullough. His Wolves will have another opportunity, but they will do so without any timeouts left, while Portage has 3 remaining with 2:25 left. Guys, if you're West Shamokin, what is your strategy here over the remainder of this game? You know that you're probably going to have to try to score a touchdown. You don't want this to come down to a field goal attempt. You've gone away from that already, going more for 2-point conversions here in this game. With that in mind, what is their strategy, Josh?
Well, you put the ball into the hand of Bo Swartz, one of the best quarterbacks in Western Pennsylvania this season, and he is got to put it on his back. That right arm of Bo Swartz, those legs, he's going to have to make some plays right here, because most likely Portage is going to pin West Shamokin back, probably have a long field in front of them, Joe.
And just to pass along another final score we have here on High Top Sports Network, we have been informed that the Armstrong Riverhawks season has come to an end at the hands of McKeesport. McKeesport downing Armstrong for a 2nd time this season, narrowly defeating the Riverhawks during the regular season, but winning by a score of 35-21. McKeesport will move on. The Riverhawks season, as mentioned, will end. And Stover threw his hands again. He's got to get on top of this one. He will recover it, but man, oh man, just awful field position for West Shamokin.
Yeah, that's brutal. You go from starting around your own 25, now backed up deep. They're going to spot the ball right around the 13-yard line there. And, we've seen West Shamokin a couple times backed up this far in their own territory, and those drives didn't really fare well for the Wolves. So they really had their cards stacked against them already. That deck just became a lot thicker.
And Owen Stover not having his best half. I'm sure there's a couple plays he'd like to have back. The 2-point conversion target, that play right there, and then that little dump outside as the Wolves were driving on their last possession. He did come up with that huge interception, which is significant, but I bet he would tell you he needs another one. That one goes off the ball. I believe that one bounced. They're going to say it was a catch. It deflected off a defender, then off a foot of another defender and into the hands of Stover.
Yeah, it looked like Heidler got a piece of it with the hand, and it bounced down off the foot of Caden Clark, and just really opportunistic play there by West Shamokin.
You say you see a football game, you've seen them all, and that is something I can't think of a time that I've seen that.
No.
In a high school football game, Jake. Here's Swartz.
Great blocking.
Great blocking indeed. He's going to shed a tackler, try to head for the sidelines, and maybe get a gain of 1. Just able to just kind of escape and stop that clock, most importantly, does Bo Swartz. 1:45 left, a second and 13, excuse me. So a long ways to go here, and a big play needed for West Shamokin, or else their streak as a program without a playoff victory will continue. They trail by 2. Thrown outside. Lou Swartz trucks a man and then is brought down just a bit past the line of scrimmage. Maybe not the greatest play call there. You need chunks of yardage. The clock continues to roll. You're out of timeouts, and you're going to waste a significant portion of this clock for a 3-yard gain. So a 3rd and 7. The Portage fans now slowly coming to their feet. Swartz, he's going to look. He's going to decide to scramble. He tells the guy to throw a block. He does not. Just a lack of communication there. Swartz clearly pointing out to his young receiver to throw that block. He does not, and Swartz does get the first down, but that could have been a much larger gain if the block was applied there. So Portage kind of escaping danger there, because the last thing you want to see is that athletic quarterback out in open space and picking up blocks.
Yeah,
Ball.
that could have went another 6 or 7 yards at least.
Ball now at the 36. Swartz in the gun. 3 receivers to the top. That's where he's going to look. Going to look to the other side now. Throw a dart. And a nice play there. We mentioned him a moment ago. Christian Sharp, the young man that missed the block, coming up with a really big catch there. Able to get out of bounds. Stop the clock. 1:04 left. Some promise here now for the Wolves. Ball at the 46-yard line. Swartz looking very accurate, but still 54 yards to go to get the pay dirt for West Shamokin. Swartz gets it. A little quick throw outside again to Christian Sharp. Knocked out of bounds. That will stop the clock. Very little clock used there, so not the worst thing. That will move the sticks. So a nice play there just to kind of get another first down and open up your playbook a little bit more as a result. 59 seconds left. And the Wolves driving. Is this a statement for Bo Swartz, regarded as one of the best quarterbacks in the region, possibly the state? What can he do here in the final minute of this one? He's going to sling this one deep. He's got a man. It's Sharp. He brings it in. He brings it in, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Christian Sharp, you've never caught a bigger ball, my friend.
On a rope there from Bo Swartz to Christian Sharp.
And that Jake, that had a lot more to do with Christian Sharp there than anything else. The ball thrown a little bit. He had to come back to it. Had his defensive back kind of turn his back turned, and that was all Christian Sharp right there with a man draped all over him, able to create just enough separation to catch that one and also get out of bounds with 49 seconds left.
Yeah,
Again, not taking anything away from Bo Swartz here. That was an excellent throw, but Christian Sharp coming up with what is clearly now quite possibly the biggest reception of this game. Flung out to the outside. There's some open space. There's a flag, though. 3 guys meet him near the goal line. They're going to mark him out at the 1, but let's see what the flag is. This could be huge, depending on which way this goes. I think it might be a holding call. Bo Swartz kind of looking in the direction of the refs with his hands held out. So it is going to be against the Wolves, it does appear. Or maybe it might be offsetting. Not sure. Let's wait and see. 42 seconds left. That's the one thing we do know for sure. Do like the play call there. You got Stover out in open space, and the ball was spotted at about the 15-yard line, I believe, somewhere around there, 12-yard line, and he got that one down to about the 1-yard line. So an effective play. Let's wait and see. Maybe the biggest flag of this contest. The announcement upcoming. So it looks like it is going to go against the Wolves. They appear to be moving backwards.
Personal foul, face mask, West Shamokin.
A face mask against West Shamokin.
That's something you don't see every day on the offensive side.
Especially on a play where you are, I don't know who was even around the ball carrier. Once Stover caught that out in the flat, no one was near it. The only people near him were the 3 guys that converged on him at the 2-yard line. I don't know about that one. That's a tough call at this stage of the game. Nonetheless, the Wolves will take the snap from the 25. Swartz there, looking for his brother again. He's going to let this one go, kind of throw it up over the head of Lou Swartz. 2nd and 25. What a backbreaker that face mask call was. As I mentioned, do you call that if that face mask was taking place away from the play, or do you keep that flag in your pocket?
Yeah,
Inevitably, if West Shamokin does not score here, that's going to be a flag that is going to be remembered and looked upon quite heavily, Jake.
Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher too, because really these officials have been letting these guys play out there throughout this entire game. So yeah, just a really strange time for that penalty, and it could cost West Shamokin largely.
Unblocked coming off the edge is number 25. Swartz has got to get rid of this one. He throws it towards the sideline, and a great job of breaking that up last minute. I believe was number 8. It was indeed, and that, of course, is not just the team's quarterback, but a star cornerback, Andrew Miko.
Yeah, now here you are, your West Shamokin 3rd down and 25 yards. 3rd and goal from the 25. So there's no way you can even reset the downs here. You have to get it all. It's 4-down territory.
You need a big chunk here, Jake. You got to get yourself somewhere inside the 10-yard line, I believe, on this play to set yourself up with something manageable. But again, we are going to look back on that face mask flag if the Wolves are stopped as a result. Here's Swartz. He's got a man, but it's going to be dropped with a chance to ice this one was number 9. I guess that isn't number 9. There is not a number 9 on the roster, Jake.
I think that was Miko again.
It was indeed Miko. The quarterback had a chance to ice this one and send the Wolves home unhappy, but instead they will have one final crack, 21 seconds left, and a 4th and goal from the 25.
Yeah, looking for Lou Swartz on that play, and I was really impressed with the pocket presence there by Bo Swartz.
Prevent defense, 3 safeties deep, 3 linebackers in the middle, and Portage, just to play it safe, will call a timeout and make sure that they have the proper defensive setup here so that the Wolves can't pull off a miraculous play and try to pull out what would obviously be an impressive win, considering they have a 4th and goal from the 25-yard line, Josh.
It would be historic. And as I said prior to this drive, Wolves putting it all on Bo Swartz. He's made plays, starting very deep in his own territory to begin this drive. And Swartz has gotten them down here so close to scoring. That face mask, as you said, just a backbreaker for West Shamokin. Right now, 4th and 25, 21.3 seconds left in this one. This is it, Joe.
Again, Josh, and you made the point, and I spoke of it in nauseum there a moment ago, that flag, it's troubling, that it's going to have a big part in the outcome of this game. But more importantly, as coaches will say, and people that study the game and any sport, really, it doesn't come down to one play. You look at this second half, we looked like we were in for a shootout in that first half, and West Shamokin only able to come up with one touchdown here in the second half, which then was followed by a dropped 2-point conversion that would have tied this one up. So certainly the Wolves have had their chances, but give credit to Portage. Here's a dart thrown high and picked off in the end zone, and that will do it. The Wolves to their knees. Bo Swartz on his back, staring at the sky, knowing that was in fact his last high school pass attempt.
Yeah, and just a little high there, looking for Stover. It looked like he had a little bit of separation, but yeah, heartbreaking there for West Shamokin. You know, we talked about Armstrong, who got their first playoff win. When I talked to head coach John McCullough the other day, he said, you know, Armstrong got their first playoff win. It's time that, you know, we get ours and make both of the Armstrong County teams playoff victors. But hats off to Portage. They played a heck of a tough game today. Really put it together in the second half, outscoring West Shamokin 14-6 after being behind 25-19 in the first half. And really clock control by this Portage team was the difference here in the second half. West Shamokin had a chance, and like you said, that penalty, that's going to be one that is going to be on the minds of West Shamokin players and fans for a long time.
Victory formation and the dismay on the faces of the Wolves, and the joyous reaction from the opposite sideline as the team in green celebrates as they will make it to the District 6 Class A semifinals, likely to face the number 1 seed, Juniata Valley. And certainly, my oh my, and it's a phrase, and it's cliche to say, a tale of two halves. We were just expecting this scoring surge that took place in the first half to continue into the second. Portage somewhat did so, but as you mentioned a moment ago, Jake, just 6 points for the Wolves, and just not enough to be able to get that first playoff victory in program history. They fall to Portage, the number 4 seed, 33-31. My big takeaways, gentlemen, certainly the extra points and the decisions that had to be made around that. You look at the scoreboard, West Shamokin missing some opportunities. I'm not sure, did they make any extra points / 2-point conversions? I think they might have had.
I don't think West Shamokin had either a 2-point or a field goal.
And it's I feel bad, and joyous response there from the Mustangs. The polar opposite response from these heartbroken Wolves, especially their star quarterback, who is clearly distraught. Number 1, Bo Swartz. Certainly, there are a couple throws I think he would have liked back, especially that last one. It was kind of a tough play, a last gasp, but that young man especially has nothing to hang his head about. He's had a tremendous high school career, one that we are jealous that we didn't get to watch more of, quite frankly. We got to hear about it. We got to watch, highlights and things of the sort, and hear from afar. But what a pleasure it was to watch him show off that right arm here tonight. Again, to keep that last name in the same conversation here, his brother Lou, just a sophomore. My oh my. As we mentioned, he said in the pregame that we'd seen highlight tapes of Lou and some of the ridiculous catches he was making, but to actually be here in person and watch him use those hands. Rarely does he let the ball come into his body, but goes up and uses those mitts. And he did that so often tonight. 4 touchdowns for that young man, playing much bigger than a sophomore does. But again, it goes back to what I said. As soon as we saw these teams being unsuccessful on extra points and 2-point conversions, and then having kind of abandoned the kicking game like West Shamokin clearly did during the second quarter of this game, Jake, from that point on, that ended up being a huge factor. Whereas it seemed like Portage kind of got things back together. They converted on 2 consecutive extra points, and wouldn't you know it, they won by 2 points. So again, that was something that I said could loom large in the game. I certainly think it did. I want to give credit again to Portage this second half. Some excellent play calls. I think of that that roll out to the right and throw back over to the left side that picked up that huge first down. Portage, again, a well-executed second half as far as play calls. And I don't want to go back to that face mask play. I really don't want to, because I don't believe that games come down to one play. But man, oh man, you would like that last drive to not be one that will possibly have a cloud hanging over it, and that being that face mask call that was clearly far away from where the action was. I don't know. It didn't appear to be intentional, I guess. Maybe it was. They did move him back 15, so I guess that is the call, and that's why even though he was the face mask was away from the action and where Stover was heading and that opposite pylon, but just a tough play, because to your point, Jake, all night long there were some battles downfield, some jousting, and for the most part the referees let this game be determined on the field, and that was just a tough way to see this one end. Regardless of who you're rooting for, whether you're wearing the silver and black or the Kelly green and white, you obviously want the play to be decided on the field. But again, no game is decided by one play. It's just a tough way to have to see this one expire. Gentlemen, Josh, we'll start with you. What are your big takeaways, and what do you expect from this Portage team? Do you think they have a chance to make some noise and play spoiler, as they will play the number 1 seed Juniata Valley?
Well, that's why you play the games, right? There's always a chance. And this Portage team really, really responded after being down in this contest to the West Shamokin Wolves, and came out and played a flawless, what I want to say, a flawless second half. They were really, really impressive in the second half. You thought getting into a shootout there in the first half was not going to work for them, and they came out and really put together a solid half of football. They're able to come away with the plays when they needed to make the plays to take away this victory. So I think they have as good a shot as anybody.
Jake.
Yeah, I can't really. I'm just kind of speechless right now. But I got some score updates for everybody at home. Juniata Valley did come out on top, 29-12, over Conemaugh Valley, and another score that went final here for some Heritage Conference fans. Homer Center defeated Glendale 34-15, and it looks like Bishop Guilfoyle is on their way to a win over Purchase Line as they lead it 38-8 as of about 20 minutes ago.
Well, thank you, Jake. I really appreciate those updates. I'm sure the fans out there do as well. And we certainly appreciate the folks tuning in. We'll talk more about that here in a moment. But I think we need to announce tonight's player of the game, presented proudly by Franklin Village Shop and Save. Guys, one player stands out. Certainly your skill positions, you're going to mention their names often, but whenever I had this roster handed to me and I asked the gentleman, who are some of the guys I should watch out for, the fine people here at Portage clearly put an X right next to Caden Clar's name, the 6'1", 180-pound senior, playing big in this one. Again, he was the Lou Swartz, you could say, of his team. Doing it in special teams as well, something that we didn't necessarily see from Lou. So it's really kind of showing a very diverse skill set, both as a receiver, pass catcher. We saw him throw a pass as well.
Touchdown pass.
That is correct.
He was a rushing touchdown short of the hat trick.
That is correct. And some really nice returns helped his team get set up with some great field position. And not to mention, he played both ways, I'm pretty sure. And I do recall him making some big stops. So unless you guys have any objections, I think that tonight's for Portage, their player of the game is Caden Clar, the senior wideout / safety.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. Caden Clar, by far the go-getter on this Portage team. Of course, we saw a lot of great plays. Ty Kennedy had a great game for them out of the backfield. Gavin Gauss also played well, and you can't forget about the guy orchestrating it all, Andrew Miko. But yeah, Caden Clar, definitely deserving of our Franklin Village Shop and Save player of the game.
And then when we think about our Avi's Tavern West Shamokin player of the game here, gentlemen, I mean, there are two names I think that certainly stand out and they both share a last name.
Sweet Lou.
Yeah, I got to go Sweet Lou. 4 receiving touchdowns in the game, just outstanding. I mean, I mentioned that he had 7 receiving touchdowns in the regular season. Got 50%, over 50% of that in one game here. So I think you got to give it to Sweet Lou Swartz.
He who is affectionately known as Sweet Lou is our Avi's Tavern player, West Shamokin player of the game. And what's great about that is, in one sense, it's sad because he watches his brother, who is clearly going through something that we as athletes ourselves and lovers of sport have gone through and experienced, and it's not a fun feeling. What Bo Swartz is feeling right now, especially with the accolades and the stats that he has garnered throughout his illustrious high school career, the emotions are just indescribable. We understand this. We see it all the time. We broadcast games often, especially in the playoffs, where we know it is win or go home. And actually, as you see, they're actually coming back out on the field. I'll be really interested to see what this is. Bo Swartz, they're just going to take a seat. Looks like these are the seniors, if I'm not mistaken. They're coming out there looking quite dejected, mostly by the young man we just mentioned, Bo Swartz. But what he's feeling is certainly one way. I'm sure Lou isn't feeling too well himself, but boy, oh boy, if you're a resident of Rural Valley and the surrounding areas, you are looking forward to the next 2 years of West Shamokin football, knowing that guy is going to be lined up wide and sometimes in the backfield for you. And that young man is Lou Swartz. And, man, was it a pleasure. Again, I'm going to go back to what I said before. I'm quite jealous that this is my only exposure to this team. Believe it or not, we've covered several West Shamokin sporting events, and those West Shamokin seniors all gathering together. What a beautiful moment there. But I feel almost cheated in a way. We've watched so many basketball games in West Shamokin. We watched so many volleyball games, and boy, are we lucky to have those. But to get to watch Bo Swartz do what he does tonight and watch him not just hook up with one of the most skilled big man receivers we've seen all season, it's his brother. And that was something very special to encounter tonight. And, really, really, really impressed with those two young men. Lou Swartz, certainly just a sophomore, 2 very bright years ahead of him, and certainly worthy of the Avi's Tavern West Shamokin player of the game.
Yeah, and those are memories. Lou and Bo Swartz are both going to carry for the rest of their lives. They got the privilege of playing 2 years together on the varsity level. Not a lot of people can say that they've got to line up with such success with their older or younger brother. So they can always have that, but still, just a heartbreaker here for the Wolves.
One set of emotions on one sideline. The fans dressed in black and silver head to their vehicles, and a pretty decent trek home to the aforementioned Rural Valley surrounding area. As for these fans in front of us with the green brightly on most of them, they look forward to another game next Friday at Juniata Valley, where they will try to extend this playoff run and knock off the #1 team in District 6 Class A, that being Juniata Valley. Gentlemen, I want to quickly thank you. Thank you so much. I can't think of anywhere right now I'd rather be than in a press box on a chilly Friday night, spending it with you guys, getting to talk about stuff we love, and that's sports. I'm really lucky I get to deal with you guys every day. This is going to be our last football game of the season, and man, oh man, am I proud of the stuff that we accomplished this fall, the games we covered, and the professionalism and quality in which we did it. And that has everything to say about what you two are like and how hard you work and your dedication to your craft. And I am beyond blessed to get to do that with you and share that passion with you. So thank you for making the time tonight. Of course, we don't get to do too many games together because we do so many games that we're obviously in separate venues on most nights. But I can't think of a better way to end the football season here on High Top Sports Network than in a great facility in front of a great game with two guys like you. Thank you so much.
Hey. Oh, you're making me blush here, guy.
Yeah, I'm getting a tear in my eye here.
But I didn't save you guys for last because we want to next thank our wonderful sponsors. So many of them have really embraced us during this playoff run, whether it's been volleyball postseason, football postseason, and all of our postseason contests here on High Top Sports Network. Those sponsors mean so much to us. go to our website, hightopsportsnetwork.com. You can clearly see their logos on our page, their graphics and what they do and the services they provide. And I urge you that they are the same folks that allow us to do what we do and bring you this action and save you the hour and 45-minute drive from Laurel Valley or wherever you may be coming from. They are the ones that make it possible. So when you are in need of one of their services, whether it's a grocery store, insurance agency, whatever it is, please look into these sponsors because they are truly the driving force behind the passion that we have to broadcast what I consider to be the best form of sports, high school sports. So thank you again to all of our sponsors. It's been a beautiful football season. Lastly, we want to thank you out there. You guys make this worth it. You tuning in and taking your valuable evenings to turn us on your device, whether it be your phone, your tablet, your computer, your smart TV, whatever it may be, and choose to spend that time with us here on High Top Sports Network. That means everything, and we are so grateful for you, and we hope that we are doing this product a service and that you have enjoyed spending that time here with us, because we certainly have enjoyed spending it with you.
Oh, yeah, we love all of our fans, all the people that tune in, listen, and watch weekly, daily, even some of you. I know some of you out there, the big fans that follow everything that we do. We can't do this without your support, and, yeah, I appreciate you guys following us along for the ride, and we're going to keep on trucking.
Thanks to Shop and Save at Franklin Village, Carson Boyer Funeral Home Incorporated, Steffi's Country Catering in Adrian, Phoenix Physical Therapy, Laurel Valley, and Katanning, TGIF Solutions, Sprankles Neighborhood Market. Who am I missing here?
I think about all of them. Avaz?
Avaz, of course.
You can't forget about them.
No.
I think that does about do it, though. But before this gentleman behind us shuts the power off on us, we're going to sign off. Again, thank you so much for taking your evening to spend it here with us on High Top Sports Network. For one last time, for Jake DeLuca, Josh Schreckengoss, my name is Joe Rhodes. We will see you again. Make sure you log on to hightopsportsnetwork.com to see when your favorite team plays next. We'll see you then.